with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer writes over there. And Hammer, lots of devastation in southwest Florida after Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, man, seeing some of these pictures on social media today.
It's crazy.
It's sad because that's a place that I've gone to vacation a lot, up and down that Florida Gulf Coast. I know you've got a trip to that side of Florida coming up next week, Nige. And the sobering part of this was this morning when the Lee County, Florida sheriff was speaking with Good Morning America on what the death toll could be.
So while I don't have confirmed numbers, I definitely know the fatalities are in the hundreds. There are thousands of people that are waiting to be rescued. And again, cannot give a true assessment until we're actually on scene, assessing each scene. And we can't access people. That's the problem. We're accessing the bridges. We're seeing what's compromised and what's not. And this will be a life-changing event for the men and women that are responding.
That was on Good Morning America. He seemed to, that was the sheriff, Lee County, Florida. He seemed to take a more cautious tone about the possible death toll later in an interview with CNN, saying, quote, "I don't know the exact numbers. It's very preliminary." So I pray to God that it's not in the hundreds.
Florida's Governor, Ron DeSantis, was asked about that number on an interview that he did on Fox.
Well, I think there's a potential for significant fatalities. I think that was based on an estimate of the people that were calling in from areas that were suffering severe flooding, and they looked at the number and thinking whether those folks ended up being able to survive that. We just don't know. Obviously, there's rescue attempts that are being made. I mean, I can tell you, if you look at some of those communities in kind of the northern part of Lee County and part of Charlotte's that are in some of the rivers and inlets and harbors, you know, they had massive flooding. I mean, it wasn't just a couple feet. I mean, they had 5-6 feet of flooding. So that is clearly a life-threatening situation. But I think it's too soon to put any type of numbers on that. And those numbers, you know, certainly have not been confirmed at this point. And it's my hope that some of those folks called in are going to be able to be rescued today if they haven't already.
Yeah, let's pray for sure. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also said, quote, "We have a few reports of some fatalities. We know from the sheriff and from some of our other reports that they expect the number to go up."
So what we know right now, 2.5 million folks without power in Southwest Florida.
Man.
That was at 3 million early this morning. So 500,000 have had their power restored already, which is amazing that those first responders and the power crew, they're able to get things going that quickly.
Some of which are from Indiana.
Yeah, Task Force 1 has made their way down, but I'm seeing tons of photos of downed power lines, deep standing water, uprooted trees. Fort Myers Beach seems to have taken the brunt of this hurricane. Some of those pictures, it looks like a bomb has gone off.
Yeah, Fort Myers, Charlotte County, Marco Island, where I was just at a few months ago, all had curfews last night. Southwest Florida has been devastated for sure. Fort Myers police warning residents Thursday to stay off the roads. The local curfew is still in effect. Hazardous roadway obstructions, live power lines down across that city. I have neighbors of mine that also have residents in Bonita Springs and Naples down towards that area, and they live in high-rise buildings, or their second homes are in buildings. The garages were flooded. I mean, their cars are underwater that they keep there. It's crazy.
Robert Ray is a weather forecaster for Fox Weather. He is in Fort Myers.
Look at this. The storm surge has done. It's pushed vessels on top of each other on their sides in a collision course. These are large, some of these like toys, now just ripped apart by the storm surge and the hurricane force winds. And all the debris here, just remarkable in this here area. Look at this. These are the docks, concrete docks split in in half and pushed by all of the energy here. Just a ridiculous amount of destruction. Unfortunately, millions of dollars of destruction just where I'm standing right now on this dock. And Fort Myers downtown is just over here to my left, and that is where the streets were flooded last night as the hurricane force winds came in, just wreaking havoc. Debris, Amy, was flying everywhere, trees, roofs, and it was tough to even get out of here for my photographer.
It's going to take a lot of people to help rebuild that entire coastline of Florida.
They've done it before. They could do it again. Unfortunately, you live down in that area. It's so beautiful. I've been down there several times, and that's it. You know, these things are rare, but man, when they happen, it just seems like it's too overwhelming and too. I mean, the word apocalyptic comes to mind. We had our friend on the air yesterday, my buddy Marco, who is a radio personality. He's based out of Florida now, calling from Tampa. He decided to stick it out. He and his family. He's got a rather large family down in Tampa. Just an update from him. It seems like places like Miami-Dade kind of escaped the hurricane. Tampa St. Pete area kind of escaped the hurricane. So I asked him how he was this morning. He said they never lost power where he was at in Tampa. Although his next door neighbor, their giant tree fell down in their yard. So. Some places it missed and they got lucky. Other places, Southwest Florida, Marco Island, Fort Myers, Charlotte County, really, really devastating.
Rescue operations have been underway since about 1 a.m. last night. Once that eye started to make its way through Florida, the rescue operations began immediately. Once again, here's Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis.
I want to thank the 26 states that have sent us support, including Tennessee, Virginia, Montana, New York, Colorado, Indiana, New Jersey, and Georgia. I just spoke with Kay Ivey from Alabama, and she's supporting sending some Black Hawk helicopters down to help. Governor Bill Lee in Tennessee fast-tracked a request that we had from Tennessee. We appreciate that. I was also just able to speak with John Bell Edwards from Louisiana. They've helped us, but he said, hey, we've got a lot of experience in hurricanes recently, so these guys are good. Ask us. We want to send more. And so we really appreciate that consideration.
So now, keeping our eye on this storm as it makes its way through the state of Florida, it's going out to the Atlantic, and now the coastline of South Carolina has hurricane warnings in place because this storm could spin back, and it's expected to make landfall in Charleston, South Carolina, Friday morning. Could be a Category 1 at that point, substantially diminished, but still, that's a Category 1 hurricane. That's how strong this thing was. It went through the state, went out to the ocean, and now it's spinning back, and it's still a Cat 1.
Did you see did we talk about this on the air yesterday? The Florida reporter? I think she's in Manatee County, where I think I'm going next week. I'm not sure. She had put on a condom on her microphone while she was broadcasting live in the hurricane. Did you see this?
She did this not because she was trying to make some sort of, political point or some sort of stance on, reproductive rights. She didn't want her microphone to get wet. So she thought, you know what? What better way to protect my gear than by using a condom on the microphone? Now, it was bizarre because she's talking about really serious stuff.
Sure.
But she's holding this mic up, and you see the little tip.
The reservoir tip.
Right,
sure.
of the condom on top. She did a video on social media to address what became a viral moment.
A lot of people are asking, what is on my microphone? It is what you think it is. It's a condom. It helps protect the gear. We can't get these mics in the wind. There's a lot of rain, so we got to do what we got to do, and that is put a condom on the microphone.
This hurricane report brought to you by Trojan Magnum. This is an endorsement and opportunity waiting to happen for her.
Right?
I mean,
exactly.
She could quit her job and become a spokesman.
Now, most reporters that I've seen have Ziploc baggies over the mic or something like that. I've never seen the condom on the mic. It makes sense.
I wonder if she's the kind of gal that just carries a few on her just to have around in case, or she had to make that purchase specifically for their job duties. You know what I mean?
Did anybody bring the Ziploc baggies? I got this, guys.
And now I got a condom, though. I got a rubber. Got a Jimmy hat.
As Clark Griswold once said, eat my rubber. All right. Matt Bear standing by in the WIBC Traffic Center.
East side, southbound 465, stop and go from 70 down to south at Shadeland Avenue. South side, eastbound 465, slows at Kentucky, then stop and go Harding over to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile, all on the most reliable 5G network, most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report. Results vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up about 15 minutes from now, just a little bit after 3:30, Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police. We got a lot of things to get to with Rick, so that's coming up in just about 15 minutes. But coming up next, a historic night in Major League Baseball last night and some Uber drama. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Right now, your home equity is at an all-time high, but don't wait. How much can you get? Let's find out today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Make sure you've got your Bet Rivers accounts ready to go tonight, because after the Hammer and Nigel show ends at 7, I'll be jumping on our sister sports station, 107.5 The Fan, and from 7 to 8, I'm hosting You Bet with Bet Rivers. I'm giving out my weekend picks, football picks, and we got a big game tonight. The Bengals and the Dolphins. What's the latest on Tua? Is his injury status going to play into how you can win some money tonight? We're going to talk about all of that stuff tonight, 7 to 8. You Bet with Bet Rivers, 107.5 The Fan. If you don't have a Bet Rivers account, all you got to do is go to your App Store or your Android store, either one. Look for Bet Rivers Indiana. Download the apps, make that first deposit. You get a risk-free first bet, and you're going to love it. Nobody takes care of the players the way that Bet Rivers does. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spine-care to learn more.
Innovation in cancer treatment doesn't just bring a new level of care. It brings a new level of hope. At Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center, we're providing access to even more potentially groundbreaking Phase 1 clinical trials to our communities. And any one of them could lead to the next big breakthrough, setting us all on a path to eliminating the disease once and for all. Learn more about Community MD Anderson at ecommunity.com/cancer.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service? Do you need to find a well-trained dealer like Marshall Mechanical in Franklin? We'll find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
As a Shane Company jewelry consultant, I always enjoy telling our customers about our jewelry and how special it is. Like our cultured pearls. And right now, pearls are more popular than ever. Pearl strands, drop earrings, pearl rings, worn stacked and layered, everyone's wearing them. Did you know that a pearl takes 2 to 3 years to form inside a mollusk? It takes on the color of the nacre, the interior of the shell. So a lavender nacre will produce a lavender pearl. At Shane Company, our pearls are known for their beautiful luster. They're in their natural colors and never dyed. We source them directly from pearl farmers around the world. And we string our pearl strands with an individual knot between each pearl for extra security. Visit us today or chat with us online. We don't work on commission, so you'll never feel rushed or pressured. Whether you come in for a new on-trend pearl necklace or a diamond engagement ring, we'll educate you about our jewelry, so you'll leave feeling like an expert.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard Air dealer in Indianapolis.
And we're back. Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and our producer Megamondo arguing off the air. We could get into it here if you want. Aaron Judge has written his name alongside Roger Maris in baseball's record books, Hammer. Here is the Yankees player big swing last night.
And the 3-2. Drilled deep to left field. This could be it. See ya. He's done it. Number 61. He's been chasing history, and now he makes it. He and Roger Maris are tied with 61 home runs, the most anybody has ever hit in a single season in American League history.
What do you think, man?
So that ties the American League record with Roger Maris. It's not the single season record for Major League Baseball because that fell into the laps of Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds during the steroid era. So basically, those dudes were coming up to the plate with syringes sticking out of their anus, swinging it for the bleachers every time, put up video game numbers.
Yeah.
The only substances we know that Roger Maris put into his body were cigarettes and booze. So there's a lot of purists, and I think I kind of fall in this category, that recognize Aaron Judge and Roger Maris sitting as the single-season home run leaders without any sort of drama or asterisk next to their name.
Are there but McGwire and Bonds and Sosa, all those guys are still in the record books, right? They haven't completely wiped them out of existence.
100% in the record books, and they all played in the National League. So that's why this is the American League record that Maris has set. But Mondo thinks there's no difference between Barry Bonds going up there like his second to last season with his ginormous head that didn't used to be there. Sammy Sosa, he used to be this real skinny, guy that came up with the Jerry curl. Next thing you know, he looks like the Incredible Hulk. All of those numbers are equal to you, right?
Yes, because they're still in the record books. Once those numbers get wiped away, which they never will, so as long as they're there in the record books, those are the home run kings.
With asterisks.
No, there's no asterisks.
I know, but I mean, it's
But they're also not in the
implied.
Hall of Fame. Not being in the Hall of Fame is the biggest asterisk you could have.
Right. Who cares about the Hall of Fame? The numbers don't lie.
Who cares about the Hall of Fame?
Those numbers will last a lifetime. If the MLB really...
Well, of course they'll last a lifetime. They were juiced out of their minds.
If the MLB really wanted to make a statement, they would erase all of Bonds, McGwire, and Sosa's home runs. That would really, really make you think, oh my God, the MLB's legit. The Hall of Fame, Pete Rose is not even in the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame is a joke. It doesn't have Pete Rose, it doesn't have Roger Clemens, and it doesn't have Barry Bonds. Those three players right there.
They all cheated.
But they're all deserving of the Hall
Every
of Fame.
damn one.
Because the summer of 1998, if it wasn't for Sosa and McGwire, baseball would have died. Sosa and McGwire resurrected baseball.
All right, so let me ask you this real quick. Let me ask you this. Hold on. So if you, for some reason, find yourself in a race, a street race in Whiteland, and you find out that the guy beat you has like a NASA rocket engine, you're going to say, wait a minute, this is a little bit unfair. I didn't have this advantage. Roger Maris and Aaron Judge can look at Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and McGwire and go, wait a minute, we didn't have the clear rubbed all over our tuchus.
You still have to have the skill. You still have to have the talent. Because listen, I know guys who have taken steroids and it didn't help their athletic
ability. That doesn't surprise me at all.
They sucked. So the fact that,
What about that argument, Hammer, is that it still takes quite the skill and precision to hit a 95-mile-an-hour ball down the middle of the plate and put it outside.
Absolutely. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing in sport. But this is why baseball fans hate Barry Bonds, because he was good before the juice. He didn't need to do it. But he was such an insecure a-hole. He didn't want people saying Ken Griffey Jr. was better than he was. So he started taking the clear, getting the injections. Next thing you know, he's got a head that looks like a drive-in movie, and he's hitting home run balls about 500 feet.
I guarantee you that Aaron Judge is taking some sort of pre-workout.
Oh, you can guarantee it.
I guarantee you. There's no way he's
Dr.
going in.
Mondo over here, who doesn't wear sleeves, can guarantee the health condition of another player.
There's no way he's going into it.
Can you assess my health by just by looking at me, Sanjay?
You have heart disease.
I have heart disease.
Oh, Sanjay Gupta over here passing out diagnosis.
But I guarantee you that Aaron Judge does take some sort of pre-workout, so he's not all natural like people are portraying him to be.
That's a pretty big accusation.
Pre-workout.
I don't even know what that means.
Substantially different than getting busted for human growth hormones.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's fine. The other story in this game was that there was this auction house that said they're going to pay big bucks, millions of bucks, for the tying home run and the record-breaking home run from Aaron Judge. So this home run last night, it was like a line drive laser just over the bullpen in the outfield.
He hit it pretty hard.
Just a screaming line drive. There was a guy, and he brought his glove to the ballpark. He reaches out, the ball hits his glove, and it bounces into the bullpen. He does not make the catch, and that ultimately could be worth $2 million.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's rough. So what, did a baseball player grab it and probably give it back to Aaron Judge or something?
Yeah, I think it was somebody in the bullpen that just picked it up and, they gave it, to Aaron. And I think Aaron Judge gave it to his mom.
Yeah, I gave it to his mom?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You brought a glove to the game. It was right there. Like if it was his bare hand, you could say, man, that ball was moving.
It was still moving, though.
It was.
That was a rocket. For sure.
But man, you got a glove on.
$2 million.
You probably paid a ridiculous amount for those seats right there, front row over the outfield as Judge is chasing the record. You brought your glove to the ballpark. This is your moment. You put the glove out, falls out of the glove into the bullpen.
My wife would be serving me divorce papers if I was the one to drop that ball.
Oh, man. Like, if you were that guy, that'd be hard to overcome, knowing that you almost had $1 million in your hand. And we know this because Sotheby's, I think that's the auction house, they said, they've got millions lined up. They're going to buy these balls, and man, you did everything right but catch the ball. Unreal. All right, Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police, he will join us next. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in Central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
All right, kicking off week 4 of the NFL tonight with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You get free bets back if your Thursday night game same-game parlay doesn't hit. NFL same-game parlays, they're the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. It's the Bengals and the Dolphins tonight. Maybe you could do like Joe Mixon over rushing yards and combine that with Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown, maybe Jalen Waddle over yards, and you could build your own, or you can choose from one of the popular same-game parlays that are pre-built for you in the FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Just sign up right now with promo code WIBC. That's promo code WIBC. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Minimum dollar bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
The recovery efforts begin. 66, mostly cloudy downtown, a low of 43 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:29. President Biden is praising the men and women of FEMA as the government helps Florida recover from Hurricane Ian.
They're always going to be above and beyond the running toward danger and to save lives. Most people want to run away from it. These guys run toward it.
Speaking from FEMA headquarters in D.C., Biden warned there might be substantial loss of life. He also said several families are hurting and noted the danger of the storm has not passed. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis called the devastation a 500-year flood event. The governor gave an update this morning, said the storm destroyed a lot of the infrastructure, including bridges in parts of Florida. Millions of people in the state still are without power. The Senate has approved a short-term spending bill to prevent a government shutdown. Fox's Jared Halpern has more.
The short-term spending bill extends current government funding into mid-December and boosts military and economic support for Ukraine. A bipartisan Senate vote, 72-25, sends the bill to the Democrat-led House ahead of a Friday night funding deadline. Prospects for the continuing resolution improved greatly after West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin agreed to drop a provision speeding up approval of energy projects and a home state pipeline that drew opposition from members of both parties. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A man in Avon may lose his guns after his niece and her grandma were shot yesterday. Court documents say Brandon Clark's sister wanted to talk about self-defense, so he started showing her his guns, and Clark was unloading them when his 4-year-old niece picked one of the guns up and shot it, hitting herself in the leg and her grandmother in the breast. They were each taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. Clark faces criminal charges. Gas prices are going up, and Gas Buddy says it's because refinery outages, a lack of supply, and routine maintenance. The average price in Indiana today, $4 a gallon, says Gas Buddy. That's up 18 cents from Monday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:31.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
With traffic at 3:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, south side, eastbound 465 after Man Road. That is a stall that's backing up traffic big time. We are stop and go back to I-70. Then after that, slowing down again in those eastbound lanes from Harding over to Emerson Avenue. East side, southbound 465, slow. Earl from 70 down to Washington and inbound 65, stop and go West Street to the north split. Broad Ripple tonight. Be careful on your way home if you go through Broad Ripple. If you use College, they're having a race. It is the Ripple Effect 5K in streets west of Broad Ripple. Our College Avenue will start closing this afternoon. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and chilly throughout the night tonight. We'll see lows fall to 44. A beautiful end to the work week. Lots of sunshine. Seasonable with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
68, cloudy downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. We'll go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Rick Snyder, president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 86. Rick, how are you?
Doing well, guys.
Hey, plenty to get to with this conversation. Let's first start with fallen Richmond police officer Sierra Burton. You spoke at her funeral earlier this week. Just maybe talk about how something like this has a ripple effect throughout the law enforcement community, and not only here in Indiana, but it's nationwide, and maybe also talk about the support given by police to Officer Burton's family.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to interact with officers in different points across the country over the last couple of weeks, and all of them have been monitoring the status of Officer Burton and her fight, as we all know too well here in Indiana, that went on for nearly 39 days. It's obviously a tragedy, but our FOP critical incident team was able to mobilize as soon as Sierra made the transition in life, and we were able to be there and walk alongside her family. It was a great honor to be able to speak at her funeral. We were able, through my role with the National FOP Chaplaincy, to provide the opening and closing prayers and also the graveside prayer during that ceremony and those honors. So it's devastating. I think one of the key things that's important to note is a key topic of discussion amongst officers at that funeral remains and continues to be this possibly being another example where we have a revolving door incident of a repeat violent offender who was out and possibly shouldn't have been had they been held accountable for prior bad acts. And so that discussion and those concerns continue within our Indiana law enforcement community, but also across this country.
Rick, before we get into that revolving door that we talk about so often here on this program, one more thing on the Officer Burton funeral. When you speak at these events, and unfortunately there have been way too many of them, do you get nervous? I mean, you are the top of the food chain in the FOP in Indiana. Most people view you as this, tough, hard-nosed guy, but it's only human nature to be concerned about the speech you're going to deliver with so many eyeballs on you and knowing what is at stake here.
Well, I think the best way to describe it is an overwhelming sense of being humbled. Humbled because of what is occurring, the sacrifice that has been made. And quite honestly, guys, in the role with the chaplaincy, it's overwhelmingly humbling when you know that you are providing words of not just encouragement, but words from God himself to help comfort the family, the fellow officers, but also to play a critical role in laying our sister to rest alongside other heroes at the Heroes of Public Safety Memorial. So I think the biggest thing to remember is just the honors that are due for the officer and their family, and also how many officers we have laid to rest there at Crown Hill Cemetery from all over the state. And it just reminds us that what officers are willing to risk day in and day out throughout our community, and it just really reminds you how remarkable our folks are.
Rick, what kind of support do police do they offer the family of the fallen officers, and not only the family, but also fellow officers that worked with Officer Burton in terms of just support, psychological, emotional support? Is there a physical, monetary type of thing that is available? I'm just curious as to the kind of examples that you could offer.
Well, the Fraternal Order of Police has worked very hard over many decades to ensure that appropriate levels of survivor benefits are available for families of fallen officers, and those will be made available to the Burton family, and rightfully so. For the fellow officers, they do have mental and emotional wellness opportunities that are available to them for ongoing counseling needs, just to be able to talk to somebody. Remember, not only did we have an officer that was shot and ultimately killed by this incident, but we had other officers who were shot at and then also witnessed that incident. So it's a traumatic event, and we have a lot of good support that is available for those officers. Our key component is this: to never let them walk alone, that being the officers and the families involved. But remember, guys, this doesn't just go away, and it doesn't go away with the end of this funeral. You have lifelong lasting impacts that will continue on throughout the Richmond Police Department, but really throughout law enforcement throughout our state.
Rick Snyder is our guest. He is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86 here in Indy. Rick, there was a story that I was reading about today. These two individuals that went on this robbery spree on the south side, southeast side, a lot of Walmart stores, things like that. They were arrested, basically caught in the act. They are taken into custody.
Strong-armed robbery.
Strong-armed robbery, and the same day, they're back out on the streets. One of them only pays $700+ to get out.
That's right. From the reporting that we received from Fox 59, which, again, kudos to them because they stay on these topics in real-time cases. But Jesse Wells over there was able to identify that this was a male and a female that were arrested as suspects in these. And again, guys, this is on the far south side, exactly in the corridor that we had been talking about for over a year now, of where crime and violence was moving toward Greenwood, Johnson County. We've seen it play out. These are multiple robberies that they were suspected in. They were actually arrested, according to police reports, literally caught red-handed in the middle of one of these robberies. They're taken into custody. They're taken to the the new jail for processing. And within hours, guys, both are released. The male was released on a $750 bond for robbery. Now, again, remember, guys, we were told we are only doing low cash bonds for non-violent felonies. Remember that whole discussion?
Oh, sure.
And again, we've pointed out time and time again all these violent crimes that get low bonds. This is robbery of all things, and it equates to a $750 bond. Suspects out in just mere hours. And this is a question that I ask. How does that enhance public safety? Furthermore, what does that tell the victim in this robbery about the value of their life in the eyes of the Marion County court system, but specifically our Marion County prosecutor? Because here's what we know, guys, and we've learned time and time again from our courts. What they're up against and the cards they're having to play is that our Marion County prosecutor is not staffing the arrestee processing system over the weekends. Guys, they keep bankers' hours. They go home on Friday evening like everybody else, and the criminals with criminal histories, with new allegations of crimes that are being arrested over the weekend, there's no one there to formally process their formal charges, and the courts oftentimes are forced to let them out on low or no bonds because the prosecutor's office isn't getting their work done. And so then later you'll see then charges are formally filed by the prosecutor's office on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday when they catch up from their weekend backlog. Guys, that isn't a way to do system in a major city in our country. I don't know that many other cities do business that way. It was not done that way prior to this prosecutor, but for whatever reason, he has made the decision to pull those prosecutors out of there, just like he made the decision to pull prosecutors out of neighborhood prosecutions, pulling them off the districts where they can be a conduit to the residents on each of our IMPD districts. He's removed that. It makes no sense. There's no logic to it. And what I said to Fox 59, they didn't play it last night, but when you ask these questions, guys, go ask Ryan Mears why he's not doing that job. Go ask him why these repeat violent offenders and new allegations of violence are getting cycled back into our neighborhoods within mere hours, and our victims are left shaking their heads and shrugging their shoulders at politicians who don't seem to care about them and their safety.
Well, Rick, you have asked Ryan Mears to his face essentially that question, and he turns around with his tail between his legs and walks away and doesn't respond. So the question...
Yeah, but guys, here's the deal. He is applying for this job. He is up for election, not re-election, but election, because he was appointed to fulfill Terry Curry's term. And he should be asking residents to put their trust and confidence in him. So it's only fair that they be able to get answers to these questions, just like any other employee would for a job interview, as to why we have the opportunity to see performance before he's actually elected to the office. Why is he not doing these things that are his responsibility as a representative of the state as the Marion County prosecutor?
Do you have time to stick around for one more segment, Rick?
Absolutely.
I want to ask you about these criminals, and maybe they're a little bit smarter than we're all giving them credit for. And we'll be right back with FOP President Rick Snyder right after this on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Denny Smith for Sundown Gardens. The big fall sales here at Sundown Gardens. 20% off container trees and shrubs, 30% off bald and burlapped evergreen and shade trees, 30% off perennials, and 50% off on Japanese maples. Hurry in for the best selection. Fall's a fantastic time to plant, so follow Sundown Gardens on Facebook and Instagram and make a plan to come visit this week. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, just west of Grand Park, sundown.gardens.com. That's sundown.gardens.com.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Oh no, there's water everywhere.
Dad, a pipe broke. My poor carpet.
We need a plumber.
And fast. Roto-Rooter does plumbing. We need somebody to clean up this water. And Roto-Rooter does water cleanup.
As soon as I can find the phone in all this water, I'm calling a bunch of people.
I told you, Roto-Rooter does both. 1-800-GET-ROTO.
Wait, Roto-Rooter does plumbing?
And water cleanup? Yeah, they do both. 1-800-GET-ROTO.
What's their number?
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name.
And away go troubles down the drain.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
Hi, I'm Arielle Winter. If you're anything like me, your pets are not only your best friends, they're part of your family. American Humane, which has been rescuing animals like Cleo here for more than 100 years, has life-saving tips that can make a big difference before, during, and after disasters such as hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, or wildfires. So when disaster strikes, you want to be prepared to protect them. Be sure to microchip or tag your pets. Never leave them behind in a major crisis, and be sure to have an emergency kit ready in your home at all times with a pet crate or carrier, leash, blanket, ID, and medications, their water bowl, and 7 to 10 days worth of food. To find out how to protect your entire family during a disaster and help our best friends in their worst times, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Trust our family to take care of your family. Call us today for our family maintenance plan at 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
All right, Matt Bear, what is the latest?
Southside stall on eastbound 465 and Man Road, backed up to 70, and then we're stop and go Harding over to Emerson. On the east side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic 70 down to Washington Street. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road, or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Man, this is just an awesome stretch of fall weather in Indiana right now. So tomorrow, 71 is your high. Saturday, 73. Sunday, 70. Monday, 70. 70 on Tuesday. It's the same forecast. Mostly sunny skies, high around 70. Lows in the mid to upper 40s, around 50. This is the fall weather a lot of you pumpkin spice drinkers have been waiting for, Mondo. Right now, we've got sunny skies, 67 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman?
Okay, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Back to the DriveHubler.com hotline. FOP President Rick Snyder is on the phone. We were talking about a man and a woman arrested for strong-armed robbery, accused of several robberies around the South Side, caught literally in the act and out the next day on low bail. Are these criminals that are getting arrested, I feel like they're a little bit smarter than we maybe sometimes give them credit for, Rick, in terms of knowing the policies, knowing what's going to happen to them when they get arrested, knowing that they'll be back out on the street relatively quick. It's almost like getting arrested for even strong-armed robbery is a mere formality for these people.
Well, that's exactly right. And it's just a reminder that violent offenders, especially repeat violent offenders, they have no fear of the criminal justice system in Marion County. And this is why. Because they know it's just the cost of doing business that if you get caught, you're just going to get cycled through, processed, and released right back out into the neighborhood so that you can continue on with your path of crime and violence. And here's the worst part. If you got locked up because somebody actually had the nerve to report you, had the fortitude to call the police and report the crime, now you're back out with a vengeance and looking to have retribution on the people who turned you in. And so residents in the community then lose faith in the criminal justice system. More importantly, they lose faith in the police because they see the police are the only ones they see. They see them making the arrest, and then they see the bad guy coming right back out. Well, they attribute that to the police, but here again, guys, the police are doing their job. It's your prosecutor and the rest of the system that is not doing theirs. And that's why we say Indy deserves better.
Rick Snyder is our guest, FOP president, joining us here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Rick, so we're talking about this robbery pair that was arrested and released within the same day. This is on the heels of that tragic situation where a woman was gunned down at a daycare center in front of children from a guy who should never have been back out on the streets as well. It's one story right after the other. We've talked about this a lot on this show. Rick, when you go around the city of Indianapolis and you talk to people, or maybe some of your officers talk to people, are they, talking about what's happening here in Marion County, the long revolving door of this criminal justice system?
Absolutely. We hear from folks in the neighborhoods every single day here in Indianapolis and in other major cities across the country, because they're all seeing the same thing. And this is what I keep asking. How does this all happen in the same way in every major city across the country? It's almost like it's by design. And what we see is this destabilizing by design to undercut the criminal justice system so that it collapses upon itself. And then we have progressive politicians that are radical in their beliefs that then believe that if they break it, they can remake it. And I'm here to tell you, this current prosecutor, Ryan Mears, falls exactly in line with the Larry Krasners in Philadelphia, the Garcons in L.A., and all other progressive DAs and prosecutors across the country with these woke, broke philosophies of how to approach criminal justice. So here are the fair questions. If the prosecutor can't take steps to hold somebody in jail for longer than a couple of hours on a robbery charge, what do you think he's going to do on theft charges, like we've seen in other major cities where people a crowd walks in and overwhelms a store and just steals everything in sight? I think there's a fair question for this prosecutor. Will he continue to charge felony theft charges for theft amounts that are under $1,000? There's suggestions that if he's reelected, he's going to move away from that and fall in line with these other prosecutors and stop criminally charging folks for that.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
We need confirmation from him what his belief is on that.
Rick, 2 weeks ago, let me jump in here real quick, Rick, because I know we're up against a break here. 2 weeks ago, there was this town hall between the current prosecutor, Ryan Mears, and the challenger, Cindy Carrasco. In that little town hall meeting that they had up on the north side, Ryan Mears said that he has a great relationship with the police. It's only the FOP that he has a problem with. He talked about the relationship he has with the day-to-day officers, and he also did a victory lap on his prosecution percentage. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
A few things. The FOP is the Fraternal Order of Police. It's not made up of an individual. It's made up of rank-and-file police officers throughout Indianapolis and Marion County. By the way, every police representative organization has formally endorsed his opponent, not him. Every single one of them in the city of Indianapolis and throughout Marion County. On top of that, related to his success rate with prosecutions, he himself told us a year ago that his conviction rate would be artificially inflated because they have so few trials that are occurring, and it will necessitate more sweetheart plea deals to siphon through the backlog of cases that we're facing. 37,000 plus criminal trials that are still awaiting their opportunity to go to court. So it's all a sham. I think it's more of the same from Ryan Mears, who shrugs, points, runs away, and tries to obfuscate from the real facts. And that's why we say facts matter. That's why cops are for Carrasco. Cindy equals safety. Safety equals Cindy. We need our residents to stand with us and put a prosecutor in place that's going to work with the police and hold violent offenders accountable.
Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86. Rick, as always, we appreciate your honesty.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
This is Joe Cordell. In other ads, I've talked about the weighty matters that are on the table in divorce: assets, debts, spousal support, and of course, children. But here I want to talk to you about a troublesome issue that arises early and often in the divorce process, but which attorneys, including myself, say too little about, and that's the cost of a divorce. Yet as important as this factor is, it shouldn't overwhelm the more deserving issues that are raised by divorce. But here are just a few things that Cordell & Cordell is doing to help. We have now reduced our initial deposit or retainer. Also, there's no longer a charge for initial consultations for those who retain. And finally, we now provide on the front end a maximum fee pledge for certain modification and support matters. The bottom line is that to be a partner men can count on, we have to think about all their needs, and attorney fees are no exception.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
When physical therapy didn't work, when rest and medication didn't do the job, when your doctor says now's the time, rise up to back and neck pain with spine surgery from IU Health. We offer convenient access to highly skilled spine surgeons from Indiana's only nationally recognized healthcare system. Our team of multidisciplinary specialists work together on the best surgical option to get you back to doing the things you love. Visit iuhealth.org/spinecare to learn more.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what the feds have been doing this year to get drugs off the streets in Indiana, how a grandmother and a 4-year-old girl were shot in Avon yesterday. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, 68 degrees, mostly cloudy in downtown Indy. It's 4 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Ian takes aim again on Lisa Brady. A tropical storm for now. Ian is south of Charleston, South Carolina, where it could make a second landfall tomorrow after doing a lot of damage in Florida, where they're rescuing people and restoring power.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he flew in to speak from Charlotte County. It was especially hard hit by the storm. He praised first responders and utility workers while noting the full extent of the damage is not yet clear.
Sanibel is destruction. For those of you who haven't been, it's a beautiful place, really neat community, and it got hit with really biblical storm surge.
The causeway was washed away, and DeSantis said efforts to get people off Sanibel Island were ongoing, either by air or boat.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. It's not known yet how many people are missing in Florida or how many may have been killed statewide. High anxiety returns on Wall Street. The Dow down 455 points at the closing bell, sinking even lower during the session. But Congress is poised to avoid a government shutdown tomorrow night. The Senate passing a short-term spending bill with bipartisan support, sending it on to the House. A new bipartisan bill would punish countries that aid Russia's latest effort to claim more of Ukraine.
If you side with Putin to recognize his illegal annexation of parts of Ukraine, you will lose all support from the United States. We'll do everything in our power to marginalize you on the world stage.
Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham introducing that bill with Connecticut Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal. Russia plans annexation celebrations tomorrow in 4 occupied areas it says voted to join Russia. President Biden a short time ago.
The so-called referenda was a sham, an absolute sham. The results were manufactured in Moscow.
He says the U.S. will never recognize Russia's claims on Ukraine. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How the feds are trying to keep drugs out of the Hoosier State. 66 degrees, mostly cloudy in downtown Indy. Clear skies and a low of 44 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. You've heard about busts in Evansville, Indianapolis, South Bend, and many other cities across the state. Chris Davis reports on what the feds are saying about fentanyl.
The busts in those cities were part of efforts by the DEA to slow down one of the deadliest trends in overdoses ever.
From May through September of this year, DEA agents conducted 389 investigations in 201 cities.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland in a press conference this week. Those arrests included cartel activity in Indiana, where people are bringing drugs in from Mexico. Last year, Indiana had a record number of drug overdose deaths, over 2,700 people. 8 in 10 of those were from fentanyl. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The little girl and her grandmother who were shot in Avon Wednesday are expected to be okay. Court papers say the 4-year-old girl got a hold of one of Brandon Clark's pistols that he brought to the house loaded and shot herself in the leg and her grandma in the breast as she was sitting in a recliner. Clark is under arrest and the prosecutors filed papers to have his guns taken away. 3 counts of child molestation and 1 count of child exploitation are the charges against a man from Logansport. John Herrick reports.
State police arrested Justin Balt because they found out he molested 2 girls at separate times, and both of those girls are around 7 years old. He's 40 years old. Police started investigating Balt in August and arrested him on State Road 25 in Cass County earlier this week. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
All automatic taxpayer refund checks have been printed and sent to Hoosiers, says State Auditor Tara Klutz. Over 1.5 million checks were printed, but some people may not have gotten theirs yet. Klutz says that's some recipients may have died or moved, but they're making sure those checks get to the right people. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, here's Matt Baer.
All right, going down to Greenfield here on eastbound. 70 report of a stalled semi slowing us down between Mount Comfort Road and State Road 9. That delay is going to be about 1.5 miles right now. Stop and go traffic. Then on the south side, eastbound 465 at Man, vehicle tapped right shoulder, has us backed up to 70. After that, still in the eastbound lane, stop and go Harding over to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the Indiana Fever aid food insecurity at Brookside School 54 at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
In the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and chilly throughout the night tonight. We'll see lows fall to 44. A beautiful end to the work week. Lots of sunshine. Seasonable with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
Hey, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. What'd you say, 5,000 National Guardsmen activated in Florida to help with some of the damage left in the wake of Hurricane Ian?
Correct.
What you're saying? 5,000. Wow.
Rescue missions have been going on since about 1 a.m. last night after Hurricane Ian made its way onto the shore as a Cat 4. Now it's made its way pretty much through Florida back out to the Atlantic, where you're not out of the clear yet. Forecasters are now saying the hurricane will be a Cat 1 when it lands in Charleston, South Carolina tomorrow sometime in the morning. So just because it's made its way through Florida does not mean people are out of the woods just yet. Now, earlier today, the Lee County Sheriff, Lee County in Florida, jumped on Good Morning America on ABC and had a pretty grim outlook on how many fatalities he was expecting to see.
So while I don't have confirmed numbers, I definitely know the fatalities are in the hundreds. There are thousands of people that are waiting to be rescued. And again, cannot give a true assessment until we're actually on scene, assessing each scene. And we can't access people. That's the problem. We're accessing the bridges. We're seeing what's compromised and what's not. And this will be a life-changing event for the men and women that are responding.
So, Lee County, by the way, that's Fort Myers and Cape Coral, and those estimates. The thing with that sheriff is he sort of was more cautious in his tone and how he described how many people and their lives have been lost when he went on CNN later. He kind of walked it back just a little bit. No official numbers, These things come in so fast. Lots of people calling 911 needing help, Hammer.
Right. And again, I'm amazed at the amount of things they've been able to do already. This storm made its way through last night. It was a slow-moving storm. And the amount of people without power last night were around 3 million. Now it's 2.5 million. And I know it doesn't sound like it's that much when you're talking about that many people without power, but 500,000 people had their power restored the same night that a Cat 4 hurricane went through. I think that's impressive.
It is, but the specific areas that were severely affected look awful. It looks like a bomb went off.
Fort Myers Beach got rocked. The pier destroyed. You see boats that have just crashed into inland homes, like boats on top of boats. You're right. It looks like a war zone. Fort Myers Beach, total devastation. Here is Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis.
We've had Coast Guard rescues. We've had urban search and rescue teams from the state of Florida. We've had the National Guard down in Southwest Florida. People have been being rescued on a minute-by-minute basis, and that's going to continue to go. And obviously, when you have barrier islands like Sanibel, where that bridge has now been knocked out, the only way to get there right now is through air operations. And so we're running helicopters, both Chinook and Black Hawk helicopters, into those barrier islands. rescuing residents who were there. But then also on the local level, they had folks in the evacuation zones who chose not to evacuate. Then as the water started rising, they would make calls for emergency, and they weren't able to send people out in the middle of a hurricane because obviously that would be hazardous for first responders. But they do have a sense of some of the parts of Lee and Charlotte that are suffering from the most flood and flood risk. And so those communities are also being attended to.
So again, Fort Myers taking the brunt of this storm, widespread flooding, complete devastation. Now, we were watching the coverage of this yesterday before we came on the air, Nige.
I was watching it all not last night as well. All day long we were on it.
And the Weather Channel's guy is Jim Cantori, right? He's the franchise.
That's your hero.
That's my guy. He's the one that gets out there hanging onto a palm tree in the worst conditions imaginable. At one point yesterday, he was reporting on the conditions, and he's hanging onto a stop sign. He's got a batting helmet on, and a tree branch comes by and hits him.
It just came flying by. All right, you know what? I think I'm just going to come in here for a second.
Jim, you all right?
I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm fine. You just can't stand up.
I'm watching it right now. No, at the time when he got hit with that tree branch, he wasn't holding on to anything. He was in the middle of the street. I don't know how he could stand up straight. I'm surprised that didn't knock him off his butt, knock him onto his rear end. That's when he walked over and started, all right, maybe I better hang on to something here. I just got nailed by this giant branch. And he is wearing that's a literal batting helmet. It's
right, like a baseball batting helmet. And now you see why. I mean, tree branches are hitting him. I think he decided to finally pack it up and go inside once a stop sign was like blowing down the street. Now, you get hit by that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's trouble, right? So he decided to pack it up at that point. Another story that we had yesterday, still more fallout today, was Joe Biden at this hunger event asking where dead Indiana Congresswoman Jackie Walorski was.
And so many of you know so much about this as well, and you're committed. And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this.
Yeah, Jackie died in a car crash in August with two aides of hers. So immediately the White House went into damage control mode, and Karine Jean-Pierre, she had the misfortune of having to stand there and try to make sense of what Joe Biden just did.
Final one. What happened in the hunger event today? The president appeared to look around the room for an audience member, a member of Congress who passed away last month. He seemed to indicate she might be in the room. What happened?
So the president was, as you all know, you guys were watching today's event, a very important event on food insecurity. The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. He had already planned to welcome the Congresswoman's family to the White House on Friday. There will be a bill signing in her honor this coming Friday. So, of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind for the president. He very much looks forward to discussing her remarkable legacy of public service with them when he sees her family this coming Friday.
He said, Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? She must not be here.
No, I totally understand. I just explained she was on top of mind.
That explanation doesn't suffice.
And does she sound a little snarky and arrogant right there? Like Karine Jean-Pierre was actually bothered and she couldn't believe you were asking that question. But then something crazy happened. You know, at the end of the movie The Grinch, or the cartoon The Grinch, where his heart grows 3 times that day and he ends up saving Christmas? Sure. The White House press briefing room with all of those liberal reporters that will do anything and everything to make Donald Trump look bad and lift up the Democratic Party, they actually turned on Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday. It wasn't just, Ducey of Fox.
Right.
Take a listen to this. There's a whole room full of people telling Karine Jean-Pierre as she sits there with this ridiculous look on her face that these answers are not good enough.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
These moments of confusion are happening with the constituents.
Excuse me.
Americans are watching this and are having concerns. What do you say to that? This is a legitimate question. We need to have some answers.
At the end of the year.
And she just sits there, like just almost rolling her eyes. She's just sitting there at the podium. You know what? Maybe if you weren't so arrogant and cocky and gave a better answer, you wouldn't have to have the follow-ups.
What could she have said, though? I'm trying to think, like, maybe if she just said, yeah, I think you got confused, the teleprompter wasn't right, and, yeah, the old man's got a couple marbles loose.
Just
not
be
saying
honest.
it like that. I'm not being flip like that. But what if she said, yeah, I think he got sort of confused, and that's not what he meant. Next question.
Right. Just be honest with people. Don't be a smartass about it and make it look like this is no big deal. Stand up there and say, he misspoke. We've all done it before. Everybody has that moment where you say something and you realize it's not right. We've all been there before.
Yeah.
That's what happened here. That's all she had to say. But instead, she had to act like Miss Billy Badass. And I'm sorry, the president who clearly has absolutely no issues at all, wink, wink. No, of course not.
Did you hear the excuse Whoopi Goldberg gave
I missed it.
On The View? Here's a Whoopi on The View.
My gosh, come on. You can't go after him for, not giving aid to Florida or not tackling the infrastructure. And he's giving aid to Ukraine. So you can't go after him for that. But you can go after him for forgetting that someone has passed. I mean, and she passed last month, not like 100 years ago. Yeah. Okay?
Oh, well, hell. Why didn't you say so?
Yeah, baby. Whoopi sounds like Cincinnati Reds former CEO Mark Schott. Hi, babe. This is the same half-wit doofus that thought Jill Biden should be Surgeon General because she's a hell of a doctor, right?
Correct.
Is this the same person? I don't know which one. Was it Whoopi?
I believe it was
said
Whoopi.
that. So Biden can't be expected to remember things that recently happened, which is an odd argument to make. I mean,
he's the president of the United States.
Like if she passed away 100 years ago, he might have remembered it.
Right.
Like short-term memory loss. One of the early symptoms of dementia, by the way. I can't remember.
What's the cartoon character, Mondo, that I think she sounds like?
I'm always watching you, Wazowski.
Right. Monsters Inc. Thank you.
It sounds like Mark Patrick doing an impression of Marge Schott back in the day.
Oh, my goodness. That's our president. That's our president looking around the room for somebody that died in August, somebody he named a hospital after, and not realizing she's dead. Matt Baer, what's up?
Northwest side, northbound 465 slow, 86th Street up to 865. Then eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone over to Allisonville Road. Coming into downtown, inbound 65 stop and go 21st to the split at a stall on the south side. Eastbound 465, a man that has us backed up to 70. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is opening soon in Noblesville. BJ's has up to 25% off grocery store prices before coupons and lower gas prices every day. Join today and get a digital BJ's gift card at bjs.com/Noblesville. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
68 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Now the Big Ten season begins in earnest. Touchdown! And this is where things really get interesting. So far this season, the Nebraska Cornhuskers have fired their head coach and their defensive coordinator. Who can the Hoosiers get fired next? Sounds like a good time to road trip to Lincoln. Saturday, John Herrick has the pregame at 6:30. Don Fisher with the kickoff at 7:30.
And he knocks it through.
On your home for Hoosiers football.
Touchdown, Indiana!
93 WIBC.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers. Bet Rivers, Indiana. Get that Bet Rivers app ready to roll. And tonight, I'm passing out winners, baby. We're going for winners tonight. At least that's the game plan. After the Hammer and Nigel show ends at 7, I'm jumping on our sister sports station, 107.5 The Fan, and I'm hosting You Bet with Bet Rivers, Indy's premier sports betting radio program, and we got a lot of stuff to get to. A busy college football Saturday, a loaded NFL Sunday, the Colts, the Titans, big division showdown. But we got action tonight. We've got the Bengals. We've got the Dolphins. This is a pretty good Thursday night matchup. So get that Bet Rivers account ready to roll, and we're going to have a good time tonight. Remember, Bet Rivers has promotions every day, and nobody gives you more bang for your buck than Bet Rivers Indiana. Must be a resident of Indiana, 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Family Dollar has the spookiest deals to help you do more for your family this Halloween. Stop by and start booing things up with our huge variety of outdoor and indoor Halloween decorations. Discover a great selection of costume accessories to complete the perfect look. And of course, find all your favorite treats. For a limited time, select bags of Halloween candy, including Snickers, M&Ms, and Reese's, are buy two, get one free. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Verizon Connect has a new AI dash cam with dual cameras. It's sleek, simple, and easy to install. Oh, and did I mention, it's AI smart. It'll give your team real-time alerts.
Tailgating.
And each video is automatically classified and sent to your team, giving you context to help coach your drivers. Best yet, it seamlessly works in one platform that tracks your vehicles, dispatches jobs, and much more. See how Verizon Connect can help manage your fleet at VerizonConnect.com/radio.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Hancock County 4-H Fairgrounds in Greenfield. The best dealers in the region will be at the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show. Just $5 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hancock County 4-H Fairgrounds in Greenfield. For more info, visit CentralIndianaGunShows.com.
Friendly reminder to change your filter. Head on over to our website at familyhvac.net for some of the best pricing on filters around.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything? On 93 WIBC.
All right, let's get on with it, Hammer.
Is this anything? A man with his dogs and girlfriend were out for a little bit of a walk. Next thing you know, this bear comes right at them.
Oh, one of these, huh?
Kind of a smaller bear, but still a bear.
Yeah.
He tried to scare it away by yelling at it. That didn't work. So he slapped it in its face, and boom goes the dynamite. That did the trick. The bear took off running in the other direction. Check it out.
I'm so excited because we get to play great moments in Shooing Away Bears history now.
Yeah!
That one was pretty good. That one was up there.
Right.
Dude, can you just play it again, Mondo? I mean...
Get back!
And what have I always told you? What do you have to do to a bear sometimes?
You gotta punch it in the face.
You gotta punch a bear in the face sometimes, and that's what he did, and it saved his dogs.
Yeah, although, I mean, I have a difference between that. You said it was a small bear and something like a Kodiak bear from the great outdoors.
Right.
Might be slightly more difficult to punch that type of a bear in the face. But I think this is one of my favorite segments on the show, Hammer.
Great moments in Shooing Away Bears history.
Stop it right now. No. Stop it. Down. Bear. No.
No.
No. Down. Bear. Bear. Down.
I do that with my cat when he's on the counter and he's about to tip over a glass of water. And he's just looking at me. He's got his paw in the water. I'm going, no. Gary, get that nut. No. And he's just looking at me, toying with me, and then he knocks it over. Little bastard.
That was a bear on a bird feeder.
Oh, that was okay.
This one, a woman who's a teacher said she had to use her teacher voice to scare a bear away from her back deck.
Get down from there. Get down from there. Right now. Go. You get down from my porch right now. Go. What do you think you're doing on my porch? You get down. Go. How dare you?
Yeah, I mean, if a bear's going to get scared by anything, it's by a Karen.
Yes.
Right? You turn into a Karen, yeah, that bear's out of there.
How dare you?
I love this segment.
And last, but certainly not least, and still the reigning champion of shooing away bear history, the guy that went for a hike.
Quack.
It looks like Biden when he saw the Easter Bunny. Remember that?
Yes.
Scared the hell out of him.
He had that look of fear, that slow turn.
And that's the noise I picture Biden making when he saw the Easter Bunny come up.
Great moments.
Yeah.
And shooing away bears history.
Oh, my favorite segment on the show.
Is this anything? A Pennsylvania man who dresses up as Captain America became a real-life superhero when he stopped a moving vehicle to save a man who passed out at the wheel.
Oh, wow.
Here is borderline weirdo Timothy White telling his amazing story.
At the wheel. I have to go save this guy. Started chasing him in my car. He's ping-ponging off of poles, so I hurry up and throw my car in park. Sprint down the block and chase the truck down. I jump in the driver's side window and I throw it in park. A cop walks out of this station. I flag him down. He starts doing his job. I would say I'm always looking to help people by nature, but this was the extreme version of that.
Oh, man. Captain America, he's lived every moment of his life, leading everything he's ever done up until this moment. Every day that he dresses up as Captain America has led him to this moment right now where he actually turns in to Captain America. And I saw the news story. It's not one of these guys that is in this dirty suit asking for money, like
touching your kids downtown,
right? Like offering them candy. Mommy, these guys do this. These guys that are maybe homeless or looking for a few extra dollars will get a hold of a Spider-Man costume, and it's all dirty and gross and sticky. And then you got to give and the guy's like 80 pounds overweight. I never knew Spider-Man to have a beer belly. This guy is a hero. He dresses up as Captain America because he likes to do the cosplay. He goes to festivals. He does the anti-bullying superhero day. This guy's a true American hero. And it just so happens that he dresses up as Captain America and saves somebody's life.
You think his family is thinking, oh, God, now he's never going to take it off.
Yeah, right.
Like, this is the worst thing that could have happened to his family and friends who were this close to having an intervention with this guy. You're not Captain America. Take it off.
Cancel the intervention. He just saved some guy's life.
Just let him keep on doing it. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
This is Ryan again, owner of Plumbing, Heating, Paramedics, your trained comfort specialist. Buying a new air conditioner or furnace is a big decision and can be pricey. That's why we recommend getting 3 quotes. Just make sure we are one of them. Why? Because the PHP guarantee says, if I can't beat a competitor's price by 10%, then I will give you $100. Dad always said, do quality work and serve every customer better than your competition. So let our family serve you. Visit saving10%.com and remember, it's hard to stop a train.
One of the things I love about Window Nation windows is they're made right here locally in the Midwest, and you got to act now, right now, to get them installed before the holidays. If they're sticky, if they're drafty, cracked, foggy, hard to open, lock it in now, baby. Pay nothing with no interest until 2025. 2 free windows with every 2 you buy at Window Nation.
Even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, call Window Nation and get this deal locked in. Because if you miss out on it, you will hate yourself later. You're throwing thousands of dollars away if you miss out on this deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. Any style from Window Nation, and there's no limit. Plus, no payments, no down payments, no interest until 2025. Save thousands of dollars on your new windows. Your energy bills are going to go lower, and your house is going to look great. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Trying to help those who need it. 67 with a few clouds on Monument Circle. The radar is clear. You've got lows into the 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis is now focusing on getting people to safety who are stranded from Hurricane Ian.
Life safety, of course, is critical. Anyone stranded on one of those barrier islands want to make sure that they're safe.
Speaking just north of Fort Myers, DeSantis says supplies are arriving in Southwest Florida with more food and water on the way. Several groups of Hoosiers are in the state helping restore power and get people to safety. President Biden is condemning Russia's attempted annexation of some territories in eastern Ukraine.
The United States will never recognize Russia's claims on Ukraine sovereign territory.
Biden called Russian referendums an absolute sham, with results manufactured in Moscow. Fake pills filled with fentanyl have become a danger that U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says you should talk about with the family.
Make sure your loved ones know that they should not take anything that they are not prescribed. They should not take a pill from a friend, and that they should not take a pill that they can buy on social media.
From May to early September, the DEA took 10 million fake pills. That included an operation in Indiana where guys from Evansville were using the dark web to do business. Loaded guns were brought into a house in Avon where a little girl and her grandmother ended up shot Wednesday, say court papers. Chris Davis reports the prosecutor wants Brandon Clark's guns taken away.
Clark's sister was interested in the guns, so he brought him over, say the court documents. The 4-year-old girl, curious as children usually are, picked up a loaded pistol just before 1 p.m. and pulled the trigger. She was hit in the leg. The grandmother was shot in the breast. Clark, who had Army first aid training, used a dog leash to make a tourniquet for the little girl. Heroic as that part may have been, he was still arrested for the other part. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Your stock report today, the Dow falling 458 points to 29,225. The NASDAQ also falling 314 to close at 10,737. And the S&P 500 down 78 points, closing Thursday at 3,640. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate the paint? Well, do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 4:33, here's Matt Bear.
All right, this is a serious crash on the west side. It's Rockville Road at High School Road, and Rockville Road is backed up in both directions. 2 vehicles involved. Somebody's trapped inside a vehicle, and at least 1 person injured here. Also, inbound 65 stops at 21st Street. Crash on the northeast side. It is Shadeland Avenue and Fall Creek near Geist. Then a crash on the southwest side, Kentucky Avenue south of 465. East side southbound 465, stop and go 70 down to Arlington. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Very quiet weather as we head into the weekend tonight. It's going to be clear and chilly.
Some of those outlying areas may see a little bit of patchy frost, lows near 44. Lots of sunshine on your Friday, a seasonable day with highs approaching 70. For Friday night, those high school football games look great. Mostly clear skies, nice with lows near 50. And a bit of a warm-up heading into the weekend. Lots of sunshine Saturday, highs near 72. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
Partly cloudy and 68 degrees. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
And we're back. The Hammer and Nigel Show, 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here, and one of the many scary things about Biden's border crisis, Hammer, in addition to the 2 million illegals pouring in this year alone, you know, the ones that were on the terrorist watch list, you have the 800,000 gotaways just wandering around in this country and no idea who they are or where they are. Along with the tragedy of the kids being kidnapped, human trafficked, and then there's the human toll, the death toll of these migrants risking life and limb because of the lure of sanctuary cities and the Biden's lax border policies. All that is awful, but the drugs flowing unabated through the border, especially this fentanyl stuff, is just really, really, really awful and scary. Considering now this thing that I heard on the news, rainbow fentanyl. Have you heard of that?
I have, and we're going to go to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Emma Vaughn. She's the National Press Secretary for the RNC. Emma, we've got a lot of numbers out about what's happening at the border, but let's focus specifically on the drug problem and fentanyl. First of all, for those who may be casual listeners of this program, or maybe somebody that's not as in tune to what's going on, what is rainbow fentanyl?
Hi, well, thank you both for having me on. Rainbow fentanyl is unfortunately, it's not a new thing. What's new about it is, as we know, we have a porous open border right now, thanks to Biden's lack of leadership. And just as every drug and every cartel is pouring over our border, unfortunately, so is rainbow fentanyl. And it really, if you see it on the news, I don't know if anyone's seen it yet, but it really just looks like candy. Someone said it looks like Smarties or something, and it's horrible. It's designed by cartels to target children and teens, which is terrifying because, as we know, I think earlier this year it was announced or reported that the synthetic opioid deaths, which fentanyl is a synthetic opioid, is the #1 killer for Americans aged 18 to 45. And unfortunately, rainbow fentanyl, they're hitting that is a target demographic for people who are smuggling and dealing, I guess, rainbow fentanyl. And the chairwoman has been, Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, she's a mother of 2 of the RNC, has been really sounding the alarm on it for a couple of weeks now because it's an untold, another horror story from this border crisis.
So, Emma, help me out here. I'm looking at the numbers, and it says that opioid deaths have skyrocketed 80% in 2 years. Now, I think we all know what happened 2 years ago. There was a change in leadership in this country. But again, where is this stuff coming from? Is this just coming from the Mexican cartels? I've heard stories about maybe China involved, getting the cartels in the mix to help get them these drugs to the United States. Where do we know about where these are coming from?
Right. So, so we're hearing China. Obviously, we're also hearing the Mexican cartels are the ones who are actually bringing it over. But, all signs point to that this is being made in China. But and I think that's also a part of this bigger issue. This is, as I just said, it's the number one killer of Americans between 18 and 45 is fentanyl. Overdosing is up 80% in 2 years. We should know more about this. We know what causes heart disease. We know what causes cancer, but we don't know what causes or where this is coming from. And I think, it's another way that to point to show how Democrats have really dropped the ball on leading this country through COVID, through crisis after crisis. And, I say it's going to be one of the things when when we take back the House and Senate, I think there's going to be definitely congressional hearings on this, figuring out what the root is of where this is originating from, who is distributing this and who is making this, and how do we put a stop to it? Because unfortunately, every town is really a border town these days when you have fentanyl coming in record numbers.
RNC National Press Secretary Emma Vaughn here on the Hammer and Nigel show. And when you mentioned the skyrocketing overdose deaths, I look at that word overdose and I raise my eyebrow a little bit, because it's not just a case of somebody that, takes one too many pills, an extra pill here and there. When we're talking about fentanyl, when we're talking about this stuff is made to kill people, it almost feels like we're under attack. So like kids aren't overdosing on this stuff. They're being poisoned to death. Right.
And I mean, I think it's 2 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to kill someone. Which is 2 milligrams is basically like the tip of a pencil. Or there's actually a great graphic. I'll make sure that you guys have it. It's it shows a penny and what amount of fentanyl next to a penny is enough. Like this kind of showing the penny is about 100 times the size, about this little dot of fentanyl that is enough. That is a lethal dose.
Yeah, it's like table salt.
Right. And if you look at what the size of these rainbow fentanyl, they look like a Smartie. It's bigger than an ibuprofen tablet.
See, that's what's scary, is that they're made to look like Skittles or Smarties.
Yeah.
That's what terrifies me.
It's terrifying. And, Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel, she was actually on Fox, I think, last week talking about this. And Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, I don't think anyone's laughed at a joke he said in a decade, but he said, he used it as a punchline in this show, that Republicans, it's that time of the election where we're going to be fear-mongering, and the chairwoman was bringing up a concern that she has and that parents everywhere have about Halloween candy, and you never know what's going to come, what kind of Halloween candy your kids are going to get, or what's going to show up in their basket or pillowcase or whatever they're using nowadays. But and Jimmy Kimmel, just made a punchline out of it, and it's horrible. This is not. It's a horrible issue to be talking about, and it's inhumane to make a joke or make light of this. I mean, I think everyone has their own personal story about a family or friend or loved one being affected by this opioid crisis, and fentanyl is just even more extreme.
Emma Vaughn is our guest. She's the National Press Secretary of the RNC. And we focus on the pills. We've been spending our time talking about the pills now that they're designed to look like candy or sweet tarts or whatever. But it also can come across in different forms of powder. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think, I know there's been, it can be also distributed as powder. I mean, obviously this rainbow fentanyl is the one that we know is targeting kids and teens. But yeah, I think a lot of this overdosing, I mean, I think it's what happens is someone who's already addicted to heroin or a different type of drug, and whatever they're using, which is obviously horrible that they're even using in the first place, is laced with fentanyl. And that is what is causing these overdoses and deaths. I don't think anyone is really knowingly or choosing to do this. Again, it's just going back to finding out the root cause, how to stop. So I think we all know we need to close our border and secure and to secure ourselves, but figuring out how to put an end to the production and distribution of this.
I think the Democrats' assertion that the border policy, we are where we are today is because of the previous administration. I think that's ludicrous. But they seem to be gaslighting on this entire. They're either delusional or they're just lying to our faces. I mean, this part of what's happening here is a direct result of Presidents Biden President Biden and his lax border policy, plus, like I mentioned at the beginning of the segment, the lure of sanctuary cities. And quite frankly, I don't blame some of these people for trying to get here by any means necessary to get a better life, which is not, I mean, I'm not talking about asylum from some sort of dictatorial or oppressive regime. People are using the excuse of just a better way of life, better finances, looking for work, which is not an asylum excuse. But this is a direct result of Biden's policies and not the result of the previous administration.
Right. It's absolutely, you're right. It's gaslighting, when I think that's kind of all Democrats and Biden know how to do these days, is just gaslight Americans for their concerns. And yeah, if you look, we had a secure border under the former administration, and the numbers are not lying. When you look at the amount of drugs that are flowing over our border, the amount of terrorists on the terrorist watch list that have been captured, trying to come to our country under the Biden administration. When you look at the number of gotaways, I think it's like over 800,000 people who that were not apprehended at the border since Biden has taken office. And that is considered to be a conservative estimate, because as you know, it is an estimate because we don't know where they are. And it's just a resounding lack of leadership is what we're seeing from this White House. And, you look at what's happening in the Rio Grande Valley and border states like Arizona and New Mexico. You can't lie to those people who are living in their communities that this isn't a crisis. And especially when you talk about the drug and the human trafficking aspect of it, every state, every city, every neighborhood is becoming a border state, city, and neighborhood. Everyone is dealing with the horrible consequences of this. And I think that's why it's important, using this midterm election to make sure that we have Republicans in charge at the House and Senate in D.C. so that we can, do the congressional hearings. We can put a halt to Biden's disastrous policies that have led us to this moment. And when you ask, when the not mainstream media, when reporters are able to ask these illegal migrants, why did you come here? They say because the president and vice president said the border was open. Because they couldn't come last administration, they're able to come now. That's what they're saying. You're hearing their reasons straight from them.
Emma Vaughn, RNC National Press Secretary. Emma, thank you so much for joining us to talk about what's happening at the border in regards to fentanyl. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, Nigel, let's shift gears to some happier news here, shall we?
Please.
We've got tickets to go see Killer Queen, a tribute to Queen, at the Egyptian Room on October 11th. We got a fun little game we're going to play, but we need caller number 9 right now. 239-9393. That's 239-9393. Caller number 9. Killer Queen tickets on the line. Contest next.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Have you been thinking about a home equity line of credit? Maybe you have some questions about them. Well, the experts are here to help. A home equity line of credit is an easy way to pull out your equity without touching your current mortgage. Right now, your home equity is at an all-time high, but don't wait. How much can you get? Let's find out today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com, home of the 10-day closing guarantee. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Well, I've had All-Star Roofing, Siding, and more out to my house. Had some serious issues with my siding. Those guys came out and looked at it, took care of it in a couple of days. House looks great. By the way, All-Star installs gutters and gutter covers. One-size gutter doesn't fit all, and most companies have the one-size-fits-all. That's not what All-Star Roofing, Siding, and more does. They custom fit your gutter covers. Let them show you what they can do for you compared to the competition.
Now is the time to take care of the house. Get those gutters taken care of right now. And if you do have storm damage, Tom Myers and his crew, they'll come out. They'll be the ones that talk with the insurance adjusters and the insurance companies. They take care of it all for you. All-Star Roof, Siding, and more. Call them at 522-6409 or go to allstarroofingsiding.com. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Heating and air conditioning can be the largest investment you make in your home. Here at Family, we pride ourselves in offering many flexible options.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hubler has certified service and maintenance for the life of your vehicle. Get everyday value pricing on service and parts and schedule an appointment with ease at drivehubler.com.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
All right, about to have a fun little contest, but first, Matt Bayer's going to get you home.
Problems across the west side. Crash Rockville Road, High School Road, Rockville Road backed up both directions. Ronald Reagan Parkway, southbound lanes stopped and closed after US 36 Rockville Road. That is because of a crash with a motorcycle. Eastbound 70 a wreck at Harding, blocking the right lane, backed up to Tibbs. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go with pros, go Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
68 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Are you ready to get your world rocked?
Ready!
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
So don't stop me now.
Oh, we've got tickets to see Killer Queen, this tribute band to Queen. Do you know how incredibly talented you have to be, Hammer, to even come close to imitating or channeling Freddie Mercury? So this guy Patrick Myers is. I'm reading a little bit about it here. They're based in the UK. I mean, Killer Queen is a great tribute band, man, and you have to be just on point to deliver.
October 11th. The Egyptian Room is where the concert's going to be. Mike was caller number 9. Mike, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel Show. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Man, we're doing good. Are you a Queen guy, Mike? Do you enjoy the catalog of the band Queen?
Yeah, somewhat.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So just lie to me, Mike. Just next time, just lie to me, okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a little game called Killer Queen or Adam Levine, and this is how it's going to work. I'm going to read you something. It will either be song lyrics from the band Queen or one of the leaked direct messages that Adam Levine sent to someone who wasn't his wife. You get 2 out of 3 correct. We're going to give you tickets to go see your favorite band, Killer Queen, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Number 1. Oh, you gonna take me home tonight. Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you gonna let it all hang out. Fat bottom girls, you make the rocking world go round. Killer Queen or Adam Levine?
I'm going to say Killer Queen.
Killer Queen. All right, 1 down, 1 to go.
Could have been Adam Levine.
Right. Number 2. Watching your butt jiggle on that table will permanently scar me. I'd do anything for it. I'd buy it a steak dinner and whisper sweet nothings into it. Killer Queen or Adam Levine?
I'm going to go Adam Levine.
Yeah!
Of course, conversely, that could have been a lyric from Freddie Mercury and Queen.
I was sensing a theme here between the 2 songs.
I buy a steak dinner and whisper sweet nothings into it.
All right. Mike, stay on the line. TK Dub will take care of you. You got yourself a couple tickets to go see the big show on October 11th. Tickets on sale for the Egyptian Room, Killer Queen.
Did Adam Levine really supposedly send that in a text message or
that was
social
a
media?
direct message. He slid into the DMs. The word "but" was another word, so I kind of took a little change of that. But watching your blank jiggle on that table will permanently scar me. I'd do anything for it. I'd buy it a steak dinner and whisper sweet nothings into
That's
it.
very Ron Burgundy-ish. I'd buy it a steak dinner, or maybe Champ from Anchorman if I had to choose.
It's a little Ron at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is good. That is one breathtaking Heine.
I want to be on you.
So we heard a little bit of Queen's "We Will Rock You."
Yes.
Mondo, could I hear a little bit of Jim Irsay's?
Well, I say we end with this, and you guys can follow me. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hold on. We will rock you.
Love it.
My favorite is the "hold on," all offbeat, like the most simple beat of all time, and it's offbeat, but it's fantastic.
2 kick drums and a snare, not one, Jim. Come on.
We also heard my reading of the lyrics of "Fat
Yes.
Bottom Girl" by Queen. Of
course.
I think what we need to wrap up this whole segment here is Big Nige doing some karaoke.
Oh my gosh.
When
Really?
was this?
Really?
It's a couple years ago, right?
I was at a work function, actually.
Top stories
Oh, it's
coming up next.
embarrassing. Okay. That's enough.
Come on! Big Nige!
Really? Really? I'm out of breath.
You sound like Jim Irsay.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet, security, and voice for just $40 per month for 12 months when you add mobile. Plus, get free installation and ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 11/6/2022. Restrictions apply. Requires Eagle Bill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabit per second internet. Security Edge and one voice line customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment taxes and other fees and subject to change. Must add mobile 90 days from internet install and keep all services for mobile discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. But most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? Have you heard of hepatitis C? Hepatitis C is a leading cause of liver cancer, yet it often has no symptoms. And people born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have it. But here's some good news. Treatments are now available that can cure hepatitis C, which is why you should talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. It could save your life. A message from the CDC. Did you ever ride your bike with a clothespin and a baseball card? Or use a typewriter for a school paper? Then here's a timely alert. Americans born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, which often has no symptoms, but is a leading cause of liver cancer. The good news? Treatments are available that can cure hepatitis C. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
Over the past few years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church because Life Church has a lot in common with the WIBC audience. Life Church cares about the stewardship of our nation. Life Church does not shy away from addressing the hard cultural issues of the day. With campuses in Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, learn more why Life Church might be a great home for you by visiting their website at lifechurchin.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Chris Davis reports on how a grandmother and her granddaughter were shot in Avon Wednesday. A man will spend more than a decade behind bars for using a dating app to rob 4 men in Indianapolis, and what the feds are doing to get drugs off the streets in Indiana. All that and more after Fox News Radio from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Not over yet. I'm Lisa Brady.
This storm can still be dangerous and even deadly.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper expecting up to 7 inches of rain from Ian, which we've just been told has regained hurricane strength in the Atlantic before a possible landfall tomorrow in South Carolina.
The center of the storm just off the shore, and now it's going to move over the Gulf Stream. It's got warm water again. Fortunately, it doesn't have a lot of time, but because of this warm water, we're going to be watching for the potential for this to strengthen.
Fox Chief Meteorologist Rick Reichmuth, and again, that is what has happened. It has just regained hurricane strength. Northeast Florida still dealing with a storm surge and overflowing rivers. Central Florida also among the areas devastated by flooding as Hurricane Ian churned its way across the state as a devastating tropical storm. Parts of Southwest Florida, where it made landfall yesterday, still hard to reach because of so much damage and debris.
I asked one man, how's he doing? And he said, lost everything. And that's really become a common refrain around here. One person or another just saying they've lost everything, dragging what they can, in plastic containers to try and save it.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Charlotte County, where Ian laid waste to a mobile home park. A statewide effort to restore power to more than 2 million people continues.
We're committed to restoring the infrastructure as needed. That is not going to be an overnight task. That is going to be something that is going to require a lot of love and care. It's going to require a lot of resources, but we're going to do it because we understand how important it is.
Governor Ron DeSantis calls Ian a 500-year flood event. It's not clear yet how many residents still need rescuing or how many lives may have been lost. President Biden says he will visit Florida. For now, he's sending the FEMA chief tomorrow after signing a disaster declaration this morning. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How a grandmother and a 4-year-old were shot. 67 degrees and partly cloudy in Indianapolis. Radar is clear. You've got a low of 43 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Loaded guns were brought into a house in Avon where a little girl and her grandmother ended up shot Wednesday, say court papers. Chris Davis reports the prosecutor wants Brandon Clark's guns taken away.
Clark's sister was interested in the guns, so he brought him over, say the court documents. The 4-year-old girl, curious as children usually are, picked up a loaded pistol just before 1 p.m. and pulled the trigger. She was hit in the leg. The grandmother was shot in the breast. Clark, who had Army first aid training, used a dog leash to make a tourniquet for the little girl. Heroic as that part may have been, he was still arrested for the other part. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
An Indianapolis man used a dating app to rob 4 men and will now spend 12 years in prison. Court documents say Demetrius Banks was using the dating app Grindr to meet 4 different men at their homes in May. Banks would show up at the victim's house with a pistol, take their phones, and use them to send himself their money. He also stole TVs, laptops, and jewelry. After he was arrested, Banks admitted to police that he committed the robberies. Fake pills filled with fentanyl have become a danger that U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says you should talk about with the family.
Make sure your loved ones know that they should not take anything that they are not prescribed. They should not take a pill from a friend, and that they should not take a pill that they can buy on social media.
From May to early September, the DEA took 10 million fake pills. That included an operation in Indiana where people in Evansville were using the dark web to do business. An Indianapolis woman was arrested Wednesday night after police found multiple IDs, credit cards, and more in her car. Sasha Nixon reports.
Angela Cook was pulled over Wednesday night after an Indiana State Police trooper noticed her expired temporary license plate. When the trooper asked for her name and birthday, she lied and gave him someone else's ID. Finally, he discovered that Cook had 3 active felony warrants. He searched her car and allegedly found drugs and identifying items belonging to other people, including numerous government-issued IDs, credit cards, and Social Security cards. Cook was taken to the Marion County Jail. Police are still investigating. Sasha Nixon, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Hey, even if you're not a football fan, you're going to love halftime at Window Nation. Right now, score new windows for your home at half the price. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy with no payments until 2025. And at that rate, you could take it to the house, the whole house, and only pay for half.
Window Nation's professional team has drawn up this winning game plan to save you money now and for many seasons ahead. Their beautiful, energy-efficient windows are expertly fit to your home by the installers who average more than 15 years of experience. They've tackled over 250,000 projects and saved homeowners millions of dollars on energy bills alone. With another brutal winter on the way and energy costs continuing to skyrocket, these incredible savings couldn't come at a better time. But Window Nation's halftime is for a limited time. Make the call today and get 2 free windows with every 2 that you buy and pay nothing until 2025. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com and tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
Vehicle tapped out in the north split westbound 70 after Rural Street Keystone. That's blocking the right lane with traffic backed up past Rural almost to Sherman. Crash west side eastbound 70 Harding. Right lane blocked, traffic backed up to Tibbs. And then we have another wreck on the west side. This is Rockville Road at High School Road. 2 vehicles. Somebody was trapped inside a vehicle. Right now, southbound Ronald Reagan Parkway, closed south of Rockville Road because of a crash motorcycle with injury. Traffic sponsored by Fresh Tide Market. Stop up and save with 20% off everything frozen at Fresh Tide Market now through October 4th. Fresh Tide Market, get real. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and chilly throughout the night tonight. We'll see lows fall to 44. A beautiful end to the work week. Lots of sunshine. Seasonable with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters
are weirdos? On 93 WIBC.
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer's right over there. I think coming into the midterms, Hammer, there's no question economic issues are at the heart of what people are concerned with. I mean, you have Biden, the optics. You remember a couple of weeks ago, Biden throwing these mission accomplished parties on the lawn at the White House, doing cartwheels over the quote-unquote success of the Inflation Reduction Act, and when in reality that same day inflation increased.
Those types of parties never work out for anyone, do they?
Didn't work out for Bush.
Nope. Didn't work out for the city leaders in Indianapolis. Remember, they had that big, whoop-de-doo festival of crime is down this year. It's not a record year. Next thing you know, you've got the 3 Dutch nationals murdered in a high-profile tourist spot in downtown Indianapolis.
One of them was,
One of them was murdered. The other 2 were shot.
The news hits today that Americans' disposable income has plunged a full percentage point, which is stocks are brutal, and a lot of this can all be traced back to the almost $2 trillion stimulus package a year and a half ago signed into law.
And they keep going. They just keep adding debt on top of debt, spending on top of spending.
Blank checks to Ukraine, for sure.
Even Obama's staff members are looking at Joe Biden going, what the hell are you doing? Like, I get the impression the Obama administration is trying to give the old Heisman Trophy stiff arm and distance themselves.
Yeah, he don't want anything to do with this. Yeah.
In any possible way from Joe Biden. And here's an example. Former Obama economist Larry Summers speaking at an event on the inflation situation.
We basically had inflation under control for 40 years, despite the fact that the price of oil fluctuated, despite the fact that there were all kinds of supply shocks. We lost the thread, along with many other countries, about a year and a half ago with massively expansionary policies relative to the size of the GDP gap. The fiscal stimulus was 5 times as large as it had been during the financial crisis.
I think the Democrats, there you go. That's such a great point. That's Obama's former economist, Larry Summers, saying, that $1.9 trillion stimulus, it's what kind of did us in. Everybody's backing away from that, including Obama doesn't want anything to do with that or be associated with that. You hear Biden all the time invoking the name of the great leader Obama. And meanwhile, Obama's like, no thanks. I don't want anything to do with this. And it's a priority for middle income, lower income American. Everybody really is being affected by this. It's kitchen table issues, man.
Again, never forget that it was Barack Obama who tried to talk Joe Biden out of running because, one, he would humiliate himself, and two, he didn't want to be associated with him. Now, Joe Biden became the president. He got elected, but very rarely do you see Barack Obama going out carrying the water for Joe Biden. Only once in a while. If those two were as close as Joe Biden thinks they were, wouldn't Barack Obama be going out every single weekend, stumping for the midterms, hyping up Joe Biden? He wants nothing to do with this guy. So where are we at with this story from Tucson?
What happened?
Tucson police officers killed a guy after he pointed his gun at the police dog's head. So the authorities were going after this guy. They'd had a warrant for him, and they saw him getting out of his vehicle. So they sicked the canine on him, and the dog runs up, and it tackles him, and it bites him, and it brings him to the ground. While the officers are running up, the suspect on the ground reaches for a gun, pulls it up to the dog's head. He's getting ready to blow the dog's head off, and that's when the police officers blew him away. So the dog lives. There's a dead bad guy here. I don't think this is a controversy at all.
And they warned him several times before that happened.
Right.
And there's somebody somewhere, some PETA lunatic that is saying, what the dog? How dare somebody somewhere is saying, how could you sacrifice his life for the dog's life? Maybe PETA's the wrong example.
PETA's probably pretty happy about the outcome.
I don't know. But somebody somewhere, some gun rights advocate, somebody somewhere is looking at this and blaming the cops and saying his life was more valuable than the dog's. You should have let him do what he was going to do.
No, the dog's life was more valuable.
I've
looked at the numbers. I've double-checked the math here. This guy was a scumbag, and I'm happy that he's dead. Like, everything played out the way that I wanted it to. So rarely in life do you get the solution that you're looking for, the outcome that you wanted to happen. Here, we've got a dead bad guy, a safe police dog, and the dog got to bite him. Hot damn, that's perfect.
But you got to think there's some anti-2A, anti-gun nut job somewhere that's saying, wait a minute, wait, we sacrificed a human life to saving animals? And first of all, do you know how much it takes, how much money it takes to train these dogs? Thousands and thousands of dollars and thousands of man hours to train these dogs. There's no doubt in my mind this dog's life was much more valuable than whoever they blew away.
This guy was wanted on felony arrest warrants for a home invasion and a bank robbery. And like you said, they had warned him several times. Get down on the ground, drop the weapon, get down on the ground, drop the weapon. The dog's chewing at him. He puts the gun to the dog's head and
gone.
then boom, that was it.
I don't think, for the most part, I don't think officers differentiate between a police officer, a human police officer, and a canine officer. For God's sake, they have funerals, processions for canine dogs that are killed in the line of duty.
Sure. And this video is out there. We didn't play any of the audio here because, it's kind of graphic. It really is. But if you want to watch the video, you can find it on Twitter. The body cam that the officer wears gives you a clear shot of everything playing out, the warnings to this guy, him putting the gun to the dog's head, and what happens afterwards. So if you want to see it for yourself, it's out there. And this is a reason why I'm happy that body cams exist. Because if not, then you'd have some lunatics, that are always anti-police saying they shot this guy in cold blood. They never gave him a warning. Rabble, rabble. No, body cams exist for this very reason, and more often than not, they make sure that the police officers get a fair shake in these types of things. Again, we talked about this Jeffrey Dahmer series a couple days ago. Mondo, you've watched the entire thing, and you said it's pretty...
it's rough.
It's a rough watch.
It's graphic, disturbing. Just prepare yourself, because Jeffrey Dahmer, evil.
I've seen documentaries on the thing. I don't need to watch a recreation of it. I don't want to put that stuff into my head.
But it's getting like a claim, right? The guy that plays Jeffrey Dahmer, he's already been nominated for awards and stuff.
He should win them all. Evan Peters does a phenomenal job as Jeffrey Dahmer.
So because of how grisly this series is, and a lot of people kind of getting into Jeffrey Dahmer, maybe for the first time, folks that are younger, maybe they didn't know the full story. Some people now have a problem with Katy Perry's song Dark Horse because in the lyrics they mention Jeffrey Dahmer.
She's a beast. I call her karma. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
That's a Katy Perry song?
Yes, that's a rapper that's in the song. His name is Juicy J. But
Juicy J?
Juicy J.
Is that his name?
He's from the 3-6 Mafia.
Right.
Ah, yes, 3-6 Mafia, of course. Yes, Juicy J. So people are upset now. They're using Dahmer's name to rhyme something in a rap song.
And that song is damn near 10 years old, too. Like, it's not like this came out just in time for the series. It's an older song, and people are trying to rip on Katy Perry. So, to avoid controversy, Katy Perry has asked Hammer and Nigel Records to help edit Jeffrey Dahmer's name out of that song. So, here are some of the alternatives that we offered up.
She's a beast. I call her karma. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Tambor.
Hey now.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Bezos.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Goldblum.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Garland.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Probst of Survivor.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Foxworthy.
She eats your heart out like Jeffrey
Dunham, the guy with the puppet.
Yeah.
Hammer and Nigel Records.
Oh, wow.
Offering up some suggestions. Jeffrey Goldblum was my personal favorite. Bad Bears in the WIBC Traffic Center.
All right, inbound 70 stall in the north split going into it after Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. Right lane is blocked. Traffic backed up to Sherman Drive. Inbound 65 stops at 21st Street. Then a crash eastbound 70 at Harding Street. Right lane blocked with traffic stop back to Tibbs Avenue. Looking at the southwest side, southbound 465 jammed in pockets from 70 over to Emerson. Traffic sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Invisible Fence Brands exclusive technologies make their containment systems the most advanced on the market, giving your pet freedom and you confidence in their safety. Visit InvisibleFence.com to schedule your free consultation. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Robert on the YouTube stream says police dog over bad guy every time, no questions asked. 100%. I'm with you right there. 68 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. When we come back, it's National Coffee Day. We will celebrate with that, and we will say farewell to a popular 90s rapper. Bad news coming out last night. We'll talk about it next.
Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Aristotle said that. The Singer Financial Team embodies it so your family can live it. This is Brian Singer. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people.
This is Erica Baker, advisor and team member with Singer Financial. Our clients expect excellence from their financial advisory team. At Singer Financial, our mission is to be the last financial team your family will ever need or want. We understand that requires a deep level of engagement and trust. At Singer Financial, we take the time to get to know you, to understand what you need, and also what you want from your investments. We can help provide answers to the questions you may not even know to ask. That means we don't really have clients. We have relationships with people, relationships with couples, relationships with families who deserve excellence. Feeling valued and trusted by your family is the most rewarding aspect of what we do. That's why our team is committed to excellence. Excellence is what you should expect when you choose to partner with Singer Financial.
The Singer Financial Team has developed and refined a proprietary process designed to help people who are still working create a work-optional lifestyle. We call it the RIM. The Retirement Income Money Map looks at 5 key areas of your financial life and then informs your choices to design a lifestyle as unique as you are. The RIM process puts all the pieces of the puzzle together to increase your chances to live the lifestyle you've imagined for your retirement.
Our team can help make your money live as long as you do. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com to explore the RIM process or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a virtual or in-office discovery visit.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
As a roofer, every second counts. Late deliveries and incomplete orders cost me time and money. That's why I partner with Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. With Beacon, I know my supplies will be delivered on time and complete. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Go to BECN.com to get started building with Beacon. Beacon, always building.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
BJ's Wholesale Club is now open in Noblesville. BJ's has up to 25% off grocery store prices. Visit bjs.com/Noblesville or the new location at 13210 Tegler Drive to join today.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Family Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent American Standard air dealer in Indianapolis.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show on 93 WIBC.
Wow, Coolio dead at the age of 59. Hammer, do we have any signs of what happened? Do we know exactly how he died?
Police say no drugs, no signs of foul play. I read heart attack somewhere. Now, I'm not sure if that's been confirmed or not, but that's one of the things that's out there. But he was only 59 years old, and he didn't seem like he was in horrible shape. And again, no booze or signs of foul play, according to the police. Now, the song we came in with right there, Gangsta's Paradise. That was on the Dangerous Minds soundtrack, right? With Michelle Pfeiffer. You remember that movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think there's
Michelle Pfeiffer.
some awards for that song and that, yeah.
He won a Grammy, I think, for that. And that was the infamous moment where he and like his, bandmate, the real sweaty guy from the video, they're holding their Grammy, and somebody asked him about Weird Al's parody song, Amish Paradise, and Coolio got all butthurt and ticked off about it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Imitation is a serious form of flattery.
Now,
I would have been fine with it.
The years went on, ultimately, like Weird Al and Coolio became friends.
I saw a picture of them hugging.
Right. So, yeah, that was that. Gangsta's Paradise won a Grammy Award for Coolio, but he had some other hits, too. I think it was 1994 he broke out with Fantastic Voyage.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
This hit number 3 on the Billboard chart. And then, he had a couple other songs that came out, but the next big hit was 1, 2, 3, 4. So Coolio, 59, man, that stinks. That's part of my high school years.
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that last one you just played.
You probably played it.
The other two for sure, but the 1, 2, 3, 4 song. But yeah, that's a bummer though, man. Heart attack. If that's what it is, we don't have confirmation of that. But I mean, young, way too young. 59 years old.
Are you a coffee guy? How much covfefe do you find yourself drinking?
Coffee. I had a couple cups this morning. Probably when it starts to get not during the summer, really. Sometimes before the show, I'll brew a fresh batch down, in the kitchen, but not overly, not crazy about it.
Do you drink 1 cup a day at least?
Not on average. No.
Okay.
Some days I go completely without.
Because today is National Coffee Day.
It's something with my stomach. Sometimes I think I'm done in the bathroom for the day, and then I'll have a cup of coffee. Oops, nope.
No. Jarred
I'm
something loose there, Tiger. Yeah, I'm not a coffee guy either, man. I've never been. I just don't like the taste. I get my caffeine in other ways, right? I'll get the Diet Mountain Dew or, a 0 sugar Red Bull or something like that. I've just never been a big coffee guy. If you ever see me drinking coffee, chances are the heat is broken here in the building and it's freezing cold at the back where our offices are.
Or there's some Baileys in it.
Right.
Mixed in.
So to celebrate, let's take a trip down memory lane with great moments in coffee history, the movie Office Space.
Boy, I tell you, some days, one of these days it's just going to be like...
So can I get you gentlemen something more to drink or maybe something to nibble on? Some pizza shooters, shrimp poppers, or extreme fajitas?
Just coffee.
Okay. Sounds like a case of the Mondays.
That's when he was at the restaurant.
I believe it was Tchotchkes.
Yeah.
You'll remember this, Big Nige, the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer and his attorney had the hot coffee lawsuit.
Now, we don't want to take up much of your time. Let's make this short and sweet. We're prepared to offer you all the free coffee you want at any of our stores throughout North America and Europe. Plus, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think they were going to give him like $50,000 as well, but he accepted the offer before he was done. He was done with it.
And of course, the conclusion of the film Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where Judge Reinhold's character is working the Mighty Mart, and some dude comes in to rob him, and lo and behold, there happened to be a hot pot of coffee.
What are you doing? It's safe! Behind the donuts! Come on!
I just started here. They just taught me the procedure, and let me figure it out.
Let me figure it out. Come on, and let's go! My case, mother...
No towels, man.
Hot coffee on the face!
I got you, you son of a... Awesome! Totally awesome! All right, Hal.
Great moments in coffee history.
My wife does now. She bought, have you ever had an espresso? She's got one of those makers now where you make it in a little cup, like a tiny little espresso cup, and she hits one of those about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, gives her an extra boost. I tried it one time. It tastes like liquid mulch.
Oh.
I hate the taste of those things, man. She says it gives her kind of, that mid-afternoon kick.
Why can't she just drink a Mountain Dew like the rest of us?
Well, look at us. I'm sorry. I don't want my wife looking like me or you. And that's what would happen if she's just drinking Mountain Dews every day at 3 o'clock.
Coming up here in just a moment, Rob Kendall will join us. I'm looking out the window of our studio here. I'm looking in the hallway. He's got a jump rope and his shirt is off.
Oh.
So I think he's ready to go. I think he's ready to go completely off the rails.
Let's do it.
We got a lot of stuff to get to. That's coming up next. But first, let's take a look at the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's a hurricane again. Mostly sunny and 67 in Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar and lows into the 40s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. Ian is now a hurricane again and is on its way to South Carolina as a Category 1 storm. Governor Henry McMaster says the state is ready to help those who are impacted.
And we're all ready to send whatever we need to wherever it needs to go if we don't need it ourselves.
The National Weather Service says winds from the storm could knock down more trees and power lines. Over 2 million people are already without power in Florida. Congress is making progress to prevent a government shutdown this weekend. Fox's Jared Halpern has the latest.
A continuing resolution extending government funding into mid-December won broad support in the Senate, passing 72 to 25. In addition to preventing a government shutdown Friday night, the bill also includes new security and humanitarian aid for Ukraine. The House is expected to take up the bill before that funding deadline. After that vote, neither the House nor the Senate is scheduled for votes until after the midterm elections in November. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A Greenfield teenager who's been missing for a week is now wanted for armed robbery, says the Greenfield Police Department. 17-year-old Noah Harris was last seen September 22nd wearing a white shirt and blue jeans. He's the suspect in a Sunday armed robbery, and police think he's armed and dangerous. If you know where Harris might be, make sure you let the cops know. The little girl and her grandmother who were shot in Avon Wednesday are expected to be okay. Court papers say the 4-year-old got a hold of one of Brandon Clark's pistols that he brought to the house loaded and shot herself in the leg and her grandma in the breast as she sat in a recliner. Clark is under arrest and the prosecutor has filed papers to have his guns taken away. All automatic taxpayer refund checks have been printed and sent to Hoosiers, says State Auditor Tara Klutz. Over 1.5 million checks were printed, but some people may not have gotten theirs yet. Klutz says that's because some recipients may have died or moved, but they're making sure those checks get to the right people. With traffic at 5:31, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison stopped going into the north split on westbound 70. There's a stall between rural and the north split blocking the right lane. Has traffic backed up to Sherman Drive. Inbound 65, no love here. 21st Street down to the north split. Eastbound 70 crash clear at Harding, still slow. Back to Holt Road, but we're starting to move. And then on the southwest side, southbound 465 stop and go from 70 in pockets of slow down to Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for Timberlake kitchen and bath cabinets. Visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Clear and chilly throughout the night tonight. We'll see lows fall to 44. A beautiful end to the work week. Lots of sunshine. Seasonable with highs near 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
And now, Hammer and Nigel go off the rails with Rob Kendall on 93 WIBC.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also, Rob Kendall from the Kendall and Casey Show. Here to go off the rails. Rob, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks as always to our segment sponsor, Garage Doors of Indianapolis.
I'm expecting gnashing of teeth. I'm expecting some thrashing going on. I'm expecting steam coming in out of your ears this segment, okay? Let's play What's More Cringy. You ready?
Let's do it.
It involves our
yes.
president, Joe Biden, telling a man in a wheelchair to stand up and let him see ya.
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
The late Chuck Graham right there has been in a wheelchair since he was 16. Literally the first man in Missouri ever to be elected office in a wheelchair.
Yes.
God love you.
Stand up, Chuck. Let him see you. Oh, God love you. What am I talking about?
Or during a speech at the White House conference on hunger yesterday, Biden asking if the late Representative Walorski was in attendance.
And I want to thank all of you here for including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie. Are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this.
Representative Walorski tragically dying in a car accident in August, Rob. More cringy to you, the wheelchair or Walorski?
Oh, it's absolutely asking where the dead woman is, because the thing with the guy in the wheelchair is Biden clearly had all his faculties about him. He was just Biden, which is an insensitive, uninformed, gaffe-prone buffoon, which he's been throughout his entire life. That's bad. But he's asking where the dead woman is because he's forgotten that she's no longer with us.
He named a hospital after her 2 weeks after her passing. He signed pieces of paper commemorating this veterans hospital after Jackie Walorski. And yesterday, he asked why she wasn't in the room.
Here's the issue with this, and this is not a partisan thing. This is if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, apathetic, Libertarian, whatever. How can you be okay with this? Like, there's plenty of uber liberal people who can run and be president who know where they're at. I mean, this is the same day where he forgot Vilsack is his ag secretary. He's mumbling incoherently.
I heard that.
He can't get off the stage by himself. I mean, all these things are happening in the same day. This guy has the nuke codes. He's in charge of our military. Look, I don't like Gavin Newsom either, but at least he knows where he's at.
And we're laughing about this, but man, this isn't funny.
No.
And shame on his wife, the good doctor, Dr. Jill, and anybody that's in his inner circle for keep putting him up there, because it's almost to the point to where it's elder abuse.
Sure it is.
They're so power thirsty. They're so power hungry. They would rather humiliate him. Dr. Jill would rather have her husband humiliated every single day than give up a little bit of power.
The mainstream national media, though, is a big part of this, too, because they've emboldened this guy. They've propped him up. We've known who Biden is and where his mental faculties are for the better part of 4 years. And again, it's not just a gaffe-prone buffoon, which he's always been. This guy has serious mental issues going on, and the media repeatedly covers him. Corinne Jean-Pierre, the whole thing where, she was on top of mind. You know what? My grandparents are on top of mind on their birthdays. They both would have been 100 years old this year, and on their birthdays, they were top of mind. But I didn't go asking where they are.
And good for the media yesterday, Nige.
I actually have that. You want me to play that clip, Hammer?
Good for them for actually giving her some crap.
What happened in the hunger event today? The president appeared to look around the room for an audience member, a member of Congress who passed away last month. He seemed to indicate she might be in the room. What happened there?
So the president was, as you all know, you guys were watching today's event, a very important event on food insecurity. The president was naming the congressional champions on this issue and was acknowledging her incredible work. He had already planned to welcome the Congresswoman's family to the White House on Friday. There will be a bill signing in her honor this coming Friday. So, of course, she was on his mind. She was of top of mind.
He said, Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? She must not be here.
No, I totally understand. I just explained she was on top.
I told you. By the way, we always inevitably, Hammer, we get crap for questioning the mental fitness of the president. Well, he has a stammer. He has a stutter. And that's the problem. When for the past 4 or 5 years under Trump, they were questioning his mental fitness every day of his life.
Sanjay Gupta of CNN, their resident quack, looked at a picture of Donald Trump and said, he's got heart disease. Hot damn, heart disease.
Well, and think about it. And Tony was talking about this morning, and I hate giving Tony credit for anything, but he made a good point. The obvious answer is He's an old guy who made a mistake, who was, freewheeling up there, and he forgot she'd passed away. It was terribly insensitive, and we're terribly sorry, and it won't happen again. But they can't give that up because he does this stuff all the time, and you can't every time admit, yeah, the guy's lost his marbles. I mean, they're really pinned in here.
And Karine Jean-Pierre is so bad at her job that instead of just saying, it was a mistake, we've all had, moments where we say something and you realize, wait a minute, what did I just say? That's all you have to do is be honest. But she was snarky and she was a smartass. And to their credit, it wasn't just Peter Ducey in that room that was giving her crap. The press corps was giving her well-deserved crap, and that's the first time that I think I've seen a shift in that room, the White House press briefing room, in a long time.
I have an update, actually, for you here, Rob. A member of the Walorski family has commented.
Yeah.
Her brother saying, quote, "All I'm saying right now about the president is bless his heart for trying. I just feel sorry for him."
Well, I guess if they want to let him get off the hook easy with that, then okay.
Rob Kendall with us. We're going off the rails. Your weekend euchre partner, Senator Todd Young.
This guy.
Known as the
Duke of Spendingburg.
The Duke of Spendingburg. I was listening to your show the other day when news came across while you were on the air that he had signed off on another spending bill. Yes. And Casey's talking about something. I think she's resetting what's trending. And then off in the background, I hear, he did it again! He did it again!
That's what I want to hear on this show. This is what I'm waiting for.
Well, okay, so,
what is it?
This is it's just the most incredible thing ever. We talk about Karine Jean-Pierre gaslighting the country. Todd Young should have a seat up there with her. I mean, this is a guy who, by the time the election rolls around, he has now voted to add over $11 trillion to the national debt in his 6 years in office. It's like he went in and said, hey, you guys want to play a game? Let's see how much I can add to the national debt. And it's like, you're a sports bettor, Hammer. Someone took the over at 10 trillion and Todd Young was in on him, and he's going to get a huge payout at plus 750 ongoing. I mean,
so you're saying Todd Young is the same as the NBA ref Tim Donaghy, who was cooking the games back in the 90s.
I mean, this guy and his abuse of the taxpayers, and what he, along with Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer and Mazie Hirono and Richard Blumenthal, what all Todd Young and these liberal lunatics have done in terms of the amount of debt that they have added to our nation, which has been a primary driver of inflation. I mean, it is at the point where the Fed chair basically is like, dude, I can't raise rates out of out of inflation, man, because you guys won't stop spending money. And yet Todd Young, the old Duke of Spendingburg, has the audacity. He's running ads. He's out talking about limiting. Well, gee, government spending is really out of control, and someone should do something about that. You're in the government and never do anything about it.
Didn't he do the Stop Washington Waste tour?
With the Americans for Prosperity, which is another clown organization that's become nothing but an arm of the establishment wing of the Republican Party. But the point is, so the Republicans have another opportunity. Keep in mind, the Republicans have emboldened the Democrats by rarely, if ever, forcing them to use the filibuster-proof votes, the reconciliation votes. They could have blocked the Green Dream if they had forced Democrats repeatedly to use reconciliation, because you only get so many reconciliations. Well, what does the Duke of Spendingburg do? He goes and teams up with Schumer and Pelosi and Kamala and Biden on this CHIPS Act, in which we give tens of billions of dollars of our money to uber-rich corporations.
The insider trading chips deal, is that the one you're talking about?
You can describe it however you want. It's a giant load of crap for the taxpayers. Todd Young writes the bill with Schumer without forcing the Democrats to use reconciliation, which leaves a reconciliation in their pocketbook, which they used on the Biden Green Dream to screw all the taxpayers. And now Young is running ads bragging about this CHIPS bill.
And on top of that, it made the Pelosi's even more wealthy. They got richer because of the CHIPS deal, because of the insider trading. All of those things you just rattled off, and the cherry on top of the sundae is it benefited the Pelosi's, and Todd Young looks at that and goes, hot damn, this looks great.
So the new vote comes up on government spending, and this is tied to the Manchin sweetheart deal that Manchin made with Schumer to get the pipeline deal done in West Virginia. And so the Republicans are livid about this, and I'm thinking, All right, random, confused, accidental act of government accountability from the Republicans. Well, then you realize, no, they're not mad about the spending. We'll vote for that. We're mad at Manchin, so we want to screw Manchin on the very issue, permitting reform, which they've been for years and years and years, and then it gets handed to them, and they go, no, we're not doing that because of Manchin. You pull that permitting reform out of there, Schumer, we'll vote for the spending all day long. And they pulled the permitting reform out, and Todd Young voted with Bernie Sanders and Mazie Hirono and Dick Blumenthal and Cory Booker and your favorite Dick. but here's the thing. Todd Young believes, and this is Dick. This is the truth. Todd Young believes that at the end of the day, the vast majority of people are so afraid of the Democrats that they will eat whatever crap he throws at them, and that they will either not vote for him or vote for the Libertarian James Syniak. And he believes he can do whatever the hell he wants, and you won't do anything about it.
He's a Marine. Did you know that, Rob?
No way.
Todd Young's a Marine.
No way.
Hey, you got a couple more minutes, Rob?
Sure. Anything for you.
We'll just take a quick break. We'll be right back. Going off the rails with Rob Kendall here on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate painting year after year, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again.
Are you looking for a local John Deere dealer in the Indianapolis area to serve your commercial and compact construction equipment needs? The folks at Koenig Equipment say, turn to us. Their full line of John Deere skid steers, track loaders, front loaders, and mini excavators, combined with their team of product experts and certified service techs, make Koenig your premier John Deere dealer.
Stop by one of their 6 convenient Indiana locations or visit KoenigEquipment.com today. That's KoenigEquipment.com.
The Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ are all dropping like a rock. And unfortunately, we could see even more losses in the months to come. But there is a way you could stop the bleeding. Learn how you could avoid losing another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. It's Terry Stacy, and it doesn't get any better than that. Don't lose another dime with your IRA and 401k. Capture the gains when the market goes up and get a 14% bonus on your retirement funds. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Bill's helped my family, and he can help you too. Call 317-349-5212. 317-349-5212.
The big fall sales here at Sundown Gardens, 20 to 50% off nursery items and selected perennials, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and the Indiana Fever aid food insecurity at Brookside School 54 at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc.
Matt Dare has a look at the roads.
It's a stall westbound 70 coming into downtown, just shy of the north split, blocking the right lane, slow to rural. Inbound 65 still jams 21st Street to the north split. We are looking at a slowdown on the east side, southbound 465 stop and go before 70 down to Arlington Avenue. South side still bad in those eastbound lanes of 465 from 70 over to I-65, then to Emerson Avenue, about 26 minutes through the line. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For Timberlake Kitchen and Bath Cabinets, visit Drexel's Design Centers at 146th Street and River Road or on North Shadeland, DrexelIN.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
67 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
right, we're back with Rob Kendall going off the rails. You hear Pantsuit Patty call Donald Trump Hitler and his followers a bunch of Nazis at a speaking event in Texas last week. Pretty soon, it's just getting old. She's irrelevant. She doesn't matter. She's obviously not running for president. It's the same old thing over and over and over again. And I don't think anybody should be surprised by this, especially after Joe Biden and the speech from hell called 75 million people that voted for Donald Trump extremists and extreme MAGA Republicans. And now, everybody that was there at that rally that she was talking about that was holding their hand, a bunch of white men, kind of looked like Hitler Youth to me. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she said, and that's what the Democrats think of half of the United States.
Yeah, I used to say this all the time. I don't know if you guys know, but I was once a very successful elected official.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that. Did you know Nigel worked at X103?
I don't know. I've also told you guys that I once helped author the largest municipal property tax cut in the state of Indiana, in the history of the state of Indiana.
Tax cutting machine.
Well, and with great power comes great responsibility. But I used to tell people all the time, and people would say, "You're a very divisive person," and I would say, "Yeah, I don't believe in the idea of us coming together because you and me, whatever liberal I was talking about, we don't agree on nothing. And I know what your opinion of me is, and mine is the same of you. So let's get this idea of it. Everybody should come together and hold hands. Let's just cut that out. We know what Hillary Clinton thinks of me. We know what Joe Biden thinks of me. They think I'm a fascist, I'm a Nazi, I'm a democracy hater. But yet the Republicans are always, when they get in power, well, we should work with our Democrat friends. We should come together and heal this nation. Yet when it's Hillary Clinton, I'm a Nazi.
And to be fair, you're a semi-fascist.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much.
Words that were used.
A diet fascist.
Full-blown Nazi, but just semi-fascist.
Only 1% fascist. Rob, you're a baseball guy.
Yes.
Aaron Judge tying Roger Maris last night. Next home run that Aaron Judge hits, he'll be the American League leader. Do you feel like Aaron Judge will ultimately be the de facto single season home run leader?
Well,
do you accept that? Because obviously McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa, they've got these steroid-induced video game numbers.
Yeah.
As of right now, Aaron Judge has never failed a steroid test. Would you think of him as the real single-season home run leader?
Yeah, because Bonds, Sosa, McGuire, it's like when David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. I know I no longer saw the Statue of Liberty, but I know that didn't really actually happen. Those guys didn't happen. It's too bad. Aaron Judge seems like a fine guy, but Hammer, I'm a pretty miserable, petty person.
Oh, yeah.
And all I have basically to cling to is the past. And I just come from a generation where things were better in black and white. And I hate the idea that something in color is being taken away from me from something that happened in black and white. So I'm anti-Aaron Judge. Let me say that right now.
I love how Hammer didn't hesitate right there. Oh, yes, you are miserable. You're a very miserable person. Yes.
What's coming up on the show tomorrow?
Well, the big drop from Abdul on the old cowardly lion. Republican Secretary of State candidate Diego Morales is supposed to come out, and so I'm sure we'll have all sorts of coverage on that.
He's off the rails. He's Rob Kendall. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable